Hello and welcome to Hendricks Regional Health Stadium on the campus of Avon High School. My name is Lex Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your third-ranked Avon Orioles challenge the Fishers Tigers in Week 6 of the Indiana high school football season. Well, after that red-hot 3-0 start, including the 41-36 win over Ben Davis that might be the biggest regular season win in school history, Avon had a setback 2 weeks ago with a 21-7 loss in the rain to cross-county and cross-conference rival Brownsburg, currently ranked number 2 in the state. However, the Orioles bounced back in a big way last week with a 48-0 win over Franklin Central on the east side of Indianapolis. Tonight, Avon tries to start another winning streak as they host the Fishers Tigers, who in only their 13th season of play have already established themselves as one of the top programs in the state. Since debuting with a 1-10 record in 2006, Fishers has run off 10 winning seasons in the last 11, capped off by the 2010 state championship and sectional championships in 2012 and last year. This season, the Tigers are off to a disappointing 1-4 start, but don't let the record fool you. They've played possibly one of the 10 toughest schedules in the state, and their average point differential per game is only -6, and they lost by only 7 points to Brownsburg, who beat Avon by 13. Now, so far this season, Avon has rushed 161 times and passed 118 times, a ratio of 1.4 to 1. Starting quarterback Henry Hessen, only a sophomore, is already showing himself to be worthy as an heir to Brandon Peters and Cameron Meisner. Hessen has completed 64 of 111 passes for 898 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He has a balanced receiving arsenal led by senior Jalen Peterson, who has 20 receptions for 356 yards, sophomore Wallace Stovall Jr. with 16 receptions for 259 yards, and junior Cohen Morrell with 14 receptions for 190 yards. And each of those 3 receivers has 2 touchdowns apiece. On the ground, the Orioles are led by Ohio State-bound senior Samson James with 105 rushes for 726 yards and 7 touchdowns. And the offensive line is given a big boost by 2 seniors who are 4-year starters and bound for Division I-A schools. Addison James, who has committed to Air Force, and DJ Bowles, who has committed to Navy. Through the first 4 games of the season, Fishers rushed 164 times and passed 79, a ratio of 2.1 to 1. Their quarterback who has played the most has been Marcus Rue, who replaced injured senior starter John Vore in Game 2. Rue has completed 17 of 40 passes for 182 yards, no touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Fishers is led in receiving by senior Colin Statz with 8 receptions for 106 yards, and senior Mason McCartney, who has 7 for 86. On the ground, the Tigers are led by senior H.L. Lewis with 69 rushes for 389 yards, 69 rushes for 381 yards and 3 touchdowns, while junior Dylan Scully has 65 for 267. Avon's head coach is Mark Bless, who's 70-30 in his 9th season with the Orioles, and 219-97 in his 29th season overall. He previously was the head coach at Mooresville and North Vermilion. He's won 2 regionals and 3 sectionals at Avon and 2 sectionals at Mooresville. Fishers head coach is Rick Wimmer, who's one of the true living legends in Indiana sports. He's 89-55 in his 13th season with the Tigers and 253-138 in his 36th season overall. He's one of only 5 head coaches to win a state championship in Indiana with 2 different schools. He won the Class 3A championship with Zionsville in 1987 and the Class 5A championship with Fishers in 2010. In between, he was the head coach at Merrillville and Greenwood and has led all of those schools except for Fishers to undefeated regular seasons. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening kickoff. Avon Fishers coming at you live under the Friday Night Lights. Next. Avon football is brought to you by McNamara Florist, Reynolds Body Shop, Red Cobra Wrestling, and State Bank of Liston. State Bank of Liston, serving you across Hendricks and Boone counties. Count on us for your mortgage, loan, home equity, and banking needs. Mention this ad and get a free gift when Avon wins on Friday nights. Visit us at statebankofliston.com. That's statebankofliston.com to see our bank dog, Charlie, welcome you. McNamara Florist has been Indy's hometown florist since 1954, providing home, business, hospital, and funeral home deliveries of outstanding fresh arrangements and plants throughout the greater Indianapolis area, including Avon. McNamara Florist is famous for its unique floral designs for all occasions that help its clients express their emotions through flowers and floral giftware. Visit any of McNamara Florist's 7 convenient locations for outstanding personal service in floral design or to select from the renowned home decor merchandise, including stunning Christmas classics. Also think of McNamara Florist to provide your floral needs for weddings, home parties, or corporate functions. Contact a sales representative from McNamara Florist at 317-579-7900 or visit their website at McNamaraFlorist.com. That's McNamaraFlorist.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just four stoplights east of 465. Their phone number is 317-243-2372. That's 317-243-2372, 317-243-2372, and are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com. Avon has a rich wrestling tradition. Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of that. Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the red brick building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. That's redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. Hey, Sam. Okay, great. I'm about to introduce you online. So, yeah, no problem.
About first, the Avon.
Well, back here at Avon, we're just a few minutes ready. We're just a few minutes away from kickoff here tonight, and at this time, I'm going to announce my co-commentator for the game. I'm going to introduce my co-commentator for the game, Sam Penrod, who's the 7th grade head coach here in the Avon system. Sam, welcome.
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great. Really excited about the game. You know, we're already up to week 6, and fortunately, we're getting a break with the weather.
Yeah.
It's a perfect 75 degrees outside. There was earlier in the week there was a threat of thunderstorms tonight. Thankfully, that has not happened, and it's very pleasant 75 degrees with a light breeze under a mostly clear sky. So should have an outstanding crowd here at Avon tonight. One of the biggest crowds in the state tonight, as they try to get a winning streak going and
absolutely
improve to 5-1 on the season. Now, Sam,
we got the national anthem coming up here. We better stand attention here. We're gonna get in trouble.
Okay, yeah, we're not gonna pull a Colin Kaepernick on you. Well, thank you for that lovely rendition of the national anthem to that soloist. I did not catch his name, and I'm sorry. My broadcast partner Sam Penrod had just arrived, so I was
mid-sentence. You were mid-sentence on your intro there.
Yeah. So anyway, Sam, now I've been commentating Cascade all season long, which has been exciting, but I'm also excited about commentating Avon varsity for the first time tonight. You know, for the last 3 years, I've been their primary JV and freshman commentators.
Yeah.
Now I'm really excited.
Well, you know all these kids then, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm really excited, having seen them when they were freshmen and sophomores, now seeing them on the varsity team.
Yeah.
Now, how have the kids looked this year? I know they're 4-1 with the, you know, ranked 3 in the state, but, you know, you've been to their games, though. So.
Yeah, I've been to all of them. You know, I think the young offense is trying to find some consistency. The defense is where the strength is, where they're going to have to really rely on, you know, coming down the stretch. Their defense is going to have to carry them. You know, in this offense, just to kind of grow and keep growing during the season, that's what I'm interested to see. It's a young offense with some leadership at the line, and obviously with Samson James at running back. So, yeah, it's interesting to see how seeing them grow here.
Yeah, and you know. And, you know, 3 members of this team made the Indianapolis Stars preseason team. You know, not Samson James, who you just mentioned,
yeah.
The pair of offensive linemen, Addison Batten and DJ Bowles. You know, who are both, all 3 of those guys committed to Division I schools. Samson James to Ohio State, Addison Batten at Air Force, and DJ Bowles to Navy.
Yeah, you know, those there's 4 guys on the offensive line for Avon that have Division I offers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it almost makes you a little bit more of a target because people use you as almost a stepping stone. You know, I did really well against this Division I guy. Yeah. So I think that sometimes doesn't always work in your favor when those Division I offers come rolling in. But, you know, I think they got some great leadership up front, which usually helps in a long season.
Yeah, and, you know, one interesting fact about, you know, Batten and Bowles, you know, they're both 4-year starters.
Yes.
Now Cascade, who I usually commentate, it's not that unusual because they have a 38, 39-man team. Sometimes they have guys that freshmen and sophomores start out of necessity.
Yeah.
But when you start, you know, as a freshman at a 3,000-student school, you know you're darn good.
Yeah, you know, they've started my entire pretty much career here. It seems like I feel like they're like 5th-year seniors or something by now. Great leaders. You know, they lead by example. They don't need to necessarily be heard. They're good kids who lead by example, and that's definitely what you want.
Oh yeah, it is. And you know, also another thing that really strikes me about this game is, you know, it's so rare that you'll ever get a better match of 2 living legend head coaches. You know, you have Mark Bless, you know, who's in his 29th season for, you know, the 9th season at Avon, but 29th season overall. And then Rick Wimmer, who started the program at Fishers, and he's the only head coach they've ever had. He's in his 13th year there, 36th year there overall, one of only 5 head coaches in Indiana to win a state championship with 2 games. They have a combined, coming into tonight, career 472 wins.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and, you know, when you have 2 guys, you know, who've been around that long, you know, you just got to treasure it because you just wonder how many more years the 2 guys are going to be around, and, you know, you just got to really appreciate it.
Hey, with the day and age you live in, you think how football has changed since when they started into now, so maybe they just don't want to deal with some of these kids and people today. Maybe they just get fed up with it, you know. Sometimes that'll be the final curtain for them, maybe.
Yeah, you never know. And one thing that really is amazing, you know, you look at, I look at Bob Knight, for example.
Yeah.
You know, I really believe that one reason why he fell not into obscurity, but, you know, to where you
just can't hit them.
Well, basically, yeah.
That's you can't hit the kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, he believed because he had been so successful, he never had to change.
Yeah.
You look at, there are guys like Mike Krzyzewski, Jim Boeheim. They've been willing to change and adapt with the times.
You have to.
And that's why they've been able to be consistent top 10 consistent top 10 teams, whereas Knight, his last few years, his teams were good, but they were no longer top tier.
Well, I think in football, sometimes it comes down to maybe advancing more sometimes schematically with the spread offenses, because I mean, our offenses at Avon is pretty spread out at 3x1 sets, 2x2. You know, they keep things pretty spread out. I know Coach Bless really liked the ground and pound back in the day, and he's kind of evolved his game a little bit. So I think you have to evolve in football, and I think especially at high school you have to adapt to your personnel sometimes. That's most important.
Well, you do, and, you know, when you think back also to when these guys started coaching, you know, Wimmer and Bless, you know, football has changed a lot since then, and not only that, but the atmosphere of football here in Indiana has changed a lot.
They invented the pass since then. They've invented a lot since they started coaching. No, I think the game has changed a bunch. It's more speed based. It's not the 80s and 90s where you're getting huge and being big. It's a fast paced game. Tempos are up paced. You have to be in shape, and you got to be able to move nowadays because the game's all based around speed more so than anything.
Yeah, and conditioning too. Conditioning's come such a long way. The way that now these kids are working out year-round. And
big shout-out to Coach Blue down at IU, doing great things with the IU program down there. He was here, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. So I watch his progress and the things he does online quite a bit. Him and Dr. Ray down there at IU do a lot of great work. So a lot of Avon people around here that we keep seeing, especially with how the speed. He has a big emphasis on speed, and the game is a lot faster than it used to be.
Well, it is, and when I first watched football back during the 1978 season, and I think back to some of those quarterbacks who were stars at the time, like Roger Staubach, Bob Greasy, Terry Bradshaw. I think they could play in today's NFL, but I'm not sure.
That's I never had the pleasure of seeing those guys play other than on NFL films, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I think they were good, but I don't think they would be stars in today's NFL. I think they were classic game managers.
Yeah,
And in today's NFL, where you're passing 2 out of every 3 plays, I just don't think they would be able to put up the big numbers.
They didn't have the RPOs back then, no. I don't think so. Not as much. It was more play action.
Yeah, definitely. It was a different game, and it's certainly it's been interesting for me to watch the sport evolve over the last 40 years.
Yeah.
But anyway, right now, before we kick off, I'd like to talk briefly about the other Hendricks County teams. All 5 of them are in action tonight. Starting here in Class 6A, the second-ranked Brownsburg Bulldogs are hosting the Westfield Shamrocks, who will be Avon's next opponent. We're going to visit Westfield next week. Then in Class 5A, Plainfield at 3-2 will host the number 3 team in their class, the Decatur Central Hawks, also potential sectional opponent. Tri-West, off to a disappointing 2-3 start, visits Lebanon, who recovered from an awful start, 2 very bad losses to start off the season. Now the Tigers have won 3 in a row. Danville looks like they're finally getting on track after that 0-3 start. They've won their last 2 games now, and they visit Southmont tonight. And finally, Cascade tries to rebound from last week's disappointing loss to Greencastle. The Cadets tonight on Senior Day. Yes, Senior Day in Week 6 host a very bad Owen Valley team. Should be get well timed for the Cadets.
Yeah, there's Guerin Catholic and Chichard play. Some Catholic schools are battling as well. I think Guerin Catholic just came off a big win over 6A Columbus North. That was kind of a surprising when I was checking the scores this past week. That was kind of a surprise. I think Guerin's 2 or 3A to beat a 6A school is pretty big.
Yeah, Guerin's 3A, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I always love, I'm not Catholic, but I always love watching Catholic schools because first of all, they're so darn good.
Yes.
Like every time you watch a Catholic school play, they look like they ought to be about 3 classes higher. And then not only that, here as Avon comes onto the field, but then in addition to that,
a loud intro.
Yeah.
In addition to that, a loud intro.
Yes, definitely.
They time that horn up, so right when you go to talk, they hit it. So just be prepared for it. They gave me a heads up, so be ready for it.
Okay, all right, thanks. I appreciate that. So anyway, what were we talking about before we got distracted?
Just the intro, the big games, Catholic schools.
Yeah, I love watching Catholic schools, not only because they're so good, but also because they do things the right way. They have great academic success.
We just got to keep them out of Avon. We got to keep them from getting all our kids. That's what we got to keep them from.
Yep.
It's a year-by-year task.
Yep, that's right. That's right. But, yeah, I've commentated over the years. I've commentated Guerin Catholic, Ron Colley Cathedral. Even a couple of years ago, I went down to Evansville to commentate Mater Dei against Tri-West. That was quite an odyssey.
Oh, nice.
And so went through a traffic jam and a flood to get there, but I made it to the Wrights Bowl.
I've never been there, but I have a good buddy that's from Evansville, and he speaks highly of that.
I would venture to say it's the best high school stadium in the state.
Michigan City has a really nice one, too, that nobody really knows about, but they have an incredible stadium, at least from back in the day when I used to play. They had an all-bricked and beautiful stadium. Grass was beautiful there, but
Yeah,
That's 6-hour difference there. Michigan City, Evansville.
Yeah, I've never. I think the Tippecanoe County schools are the furthest north I've gone so far.
Yep. See, I'm from Northern Indiana, so you can bring your southern, northwestern knowledge, and we'll combine it all.
Yeah, I'm from Madison in the southeast of the state.
Okay.
Between Louisville and Cincinnati. So, yeah, I always. I always enjoy going to different parts of the state. That's one reason I like about it when the Audio Sports Online and Hendricks County schools go far in the tournament, and I'm able to commentate teams I normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like when you go in the deep rounds. So now the two teams have just had the coin toss and the handshake, and Avon is wearing the black jerseys and white numbers. Fisher's wearing the white jerseys with red trim and red numbers, and I laud both teams for wearing uniforms that are in which it's easy to decipher the numbers.
Oh, these numbers are beautiful. Big white numbers on black jerseys. I like it.
The all-time worst, as much as I love Cascade, the Cascade girls basketball home uniforms are white with baby blue numbers.
Oh, awesome.
So it's pretty, but it's very hard to decipher the numbers. I have a very hard time with that. So
I can imagine. Well, Ben Davis they had some numbers that like faded from purple to white. It was I mean, on film it was hard to tell.
Right, yeah. So now back deep to receive the opening kickoff for
got Cameron Moulton, Jalen Peterson back deep.
All right.
The 5-2-2-2 setup.
And kicking off for Fishers, we have Jack Phillips. He is a junior. So, kickoff, here we go.
In the air, and we are underway. Week 6.
Cameron Moulton takes it. Oh, he's got a seam.
Oh, my God, he could go all the way. And he's past the 50, 45. And he drops the ball, but he's not before getting out of – it goes out of bounds, and he gets inside the 40.
A nice return there by Cameron Moulton. The seam in the middle got a little log jammed, and then he was able to bounce it wide to the left side of the field there.
Well, Avon's last two starting quarterbacks are both playing college ball at a high level. Brandon Peters at Michigan, Cameron Meisner at the University of Indianapolis. Now it looks like sophomore Henry Hessen is the next big thing to come through the Orioles program. So let's see how he does. I commentated him as a freshman last year. Now he's working magic for the varsity as a sophomore.
Starting in the pistol, the double, the ace look out here. Trips look.
Now fakes the handoff to James.
Play action. Just a bit high to Farrell there. Overshot him a little bit. Hessen's going to have to calm down a little bit if he wants to have a productive day there.
You want to do the play-by-play? Okay, all right, no problem. So the Orioles break huddle now. Line up with two receivers to the left, one to the right. James, the running back. Hessen in shotgun.
Yeah, 2-by-2 set with the Orioles here. Too high safety look from the Fishers.
Gives it to James. He takes it over to the right side, and he gets up for about 2. That'll bring up 3rd and long here.
Little outside zone there, trying to get a little manageable 3rd down here. You know, I thought Sampson had the edge there. Wasn't quite able to turn it. The linebackers did a good job of coming up. This 2-safety deep set typically gives the Avon offense a little struggle. They struggle a little bit with HSE, so let's see how they adjust here.
Yes, indeed. So now the same formation there. And they got some movement at the line, but no flag. Now hand off to James again. He goes forward, but they're ready for him, and he gets only maybe a yard.
Yeah, inside zone on, was that 3rd and 8? Kind of an interesting call there.
Yeah, not very adventurous.
Adventurous, yes. That would be the right call. Not very adventurous. I like that.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I'm guessing by that call they were going for a 4th down either way, so I'm assuming that was a, hey, we're going for a 4th. We're going to get a better situation here.
Yeah, however, they stopped James for no gain, so now we've got Morrell to the Morrell and one other receiver to the left, one receiver to the right. James in the backfield. Hessen in shotgun takes snap, and he's a screen pass, and it is complete, and he's got the 1st down inside the 20. So the first completion of the game goes for about 21 yards there.
The Jalen Peterson with the catch on the backside of the 3-by-1 look. Nice play by Peterson. Peterson and Hessen started to develop a little bit of chemistry.
Yeah, he turned around just at the perfect time. So now, handoff there, and he spins around, gets inside the 15 up to about the 13 or 14. That was, I believe that was Peterson again. So Peterson with a rush this time.
A little disappearing clock there. Now it's back on.
Tell you, I don't know if it's just like a lower class, a lower division thing. I'll hold that thought. After they give Peterson credit for 4 there. So now we got 2 receivers to the right, Peterson to the left. James, the running back, Hessen in shotgun, takes a snap, throws over to the left side, and it is no good.
Back shoulder Peterson didn't quite work out there. I expect that to be open most of the night. If they're going to single up Peterson on the backside, look for this Fishers team to have a lot of struggles on the backside if they continue to do that in that 3-by-1 set.
Yeah. So 3rd and 6 now, 9:53 to go here in the first quarter at Avon. No score. So you've got Peterson lined up to the left, Morrell and Stovall lined up to the right. James, the running back, Hessen in shotgun.
We got man here. Looks like pressure's coming from Fishers.
So now fakes the handoff to James, throws into the end zone, and it is incomplete. We got a possible pass interference penalty.
Not bad by the Fishers DB. He hooks him. He just hooked him a little too much on that back hip and spun him a little bit on that slant with the RPO look there.
Yes, so that looks like that'll be a first down for the Tigers.
You get to a point as a DB where you got to let go and you got to get that right arm in there and let that left hand go, because if you turn the shoulder pads, that's an easy one for the back judge.
Indeed, yes. So I guess it'll be half the distance to the goal. So the Orioles off now.
Another 3-by-1 set here by the Orioles. Look for Fishers to go man here, bring some pressure.
Yeah, okay. And now a handoff to James, and he takes over to the right side, but they swarm him and they bring him down right around the line of scrimmage.
Hey, great pursuit by Fishers. They were able to get in the backfield pretty quick there to hold the edge and keep Sam from breaking outside there.
James, a very dangerous player. He is headed for Ohio State. He has a long rush on the season of 86 yards. They hold him for no gain there. Three rushes for only 2 yards so far for Sam James. I'm sure he'll get more than that as the game goes on, though. So now we've got Stovall and
Peterson's back in on the backside. Another 3-by-1 set to the far side.
So now Heston in shotgun takes it, throws into the end zone, and it's off the hands of Peterson.
Whip route by Peterson was wide open. Peterson not able to pull that easy touchdown back in. I'm sure he's going to be shaking his head for a while on that one.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, go ahead.
Again, look, they're trying to, these Fishers DBs, especially in the goal line, they're putting a lot of people in the box. They're trying to man up and put a lot of people in the box, so expect Avon to keep attacking them. They're open. They just got to catch the football at this point.
So now on 3rd and goal at the 6, and now handoff there to James. No, I'm sorry, that was
jet sweep to Jalen Peterson there, and Fishers sniffs it out all over it.
A huge loss, yeah.
Yes.
They got a loss of 9. Wow.
Field goal here. Nice play by that Fishers defense. They're able to recover after a big return and bend but don't break essentially.
Yes, indeed. So anyway, on for the Nick Bandy is the kicker for the Orioles. He's 4 for 7 on field goals of the year with a long of 32. This one is up and good. He's
been a little bit of a funk lately, and you can see it when they kind of make that call whether to go for it or not. It seems like he's been in a little bit of a funk kicking. That those 3 points are going to be essential to come down the line here. So
yeah, so. But it's still the drive, not even though it produces no points, still not a total washout, as the AF Fishers does start, deep in their own territory at the
right 20. At the 20.
And Fishers have struggled on offense all season long. They played pretty good defense. They have not done much on offense, playing with their backup quarterback Marcus Rue, who replaced the injured John Vore in Game 2.
Okay.
So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 running back. And now there's a handoff there, and he's up the middle for about 2. If
I'm Fishers here, I'm trying to slow this game down, control the game a little bit, wear this defense down. That's, with 3 linemen, they're going to have to wear them down. A lot of 2 tight end sets here. Although Avon looks like it's in a 4 D lineman front, which we don't typically see from the Avon Orioles.
Indeed, yes. And now we've got, now it looks like Avon's taking a very early timeout here. So 7:54 to go here in the first quarter at Avon. Your third-ranked Orioles tied with the conference rival Fishers Tigers 0-0. Avon took it all the way down inside. They got inside the 10 on their first possession. However, then Jalen Patterson was stopped on a 9-yard rush, and then the field goal by Bandy was no good, wide left. So Fishers has taken over. They got 3 yards on their first play.
You know, I look for Avon to get a little revenge, too. I meant to talk about that earlier. The tough loss last year, a couple late turnovers from the offense, and then Coach Wimmer was able to dissect the Avon defense last year for the upset win. So I'm looking for this Avon team to have a little bit something to prove here with this game after last year's outcome.
Yes, and you know, Coach Bless, you know, said that, you know, during the summer he invited all the seniors over for a leadership meeting, and that a lot of the seniors agreed that the Fishers loss was a turning point it was a turning point in getting their season on track. And,
yeah.
You know, as they went all the way to the semi-state. So now fakes handoff, screen pass completed over to the right. And he switches directions a few times, gets up for about 3 yards. That was Colin's stats there on the screen pass from Marcus Rue.
So yeah, 3-by-1 set there with a bubble from number 2 while 3 gets vertical. So also with that 4 lineman front, it leaves a less linebacker out there. So again, the chess game back and forth will be interesting to see how Fishers decides how they're going to attack this team.
Yes, indeed. So 3rd and 5 now at the very big play for the Fishers offense. So now we've got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Scully, the running back. And now a screen pass, and it is too low. So looks like
a little quick pass. The top receiver there looks like a little 3-step slant. Was a little bit behind him. Didn't really have a chance to get it. I'm expecting Fishers to dink and dunk tonight to try and attack those short zones from Avon. But after that pass, I'm not sure what they're going to do.
So now Phillips to punt, and now we've got Peterson back deep to receive for the Orioles. 7:05 to go here in the first quarter, still no score. Peterson takes it at the 35.
Peterson's going to have a lot of time to return this one.
Yeah, he's over past to the 50, up to about the 47.
So great field position again for the Avon Orioles. Mind your way.
Oh, no. So now the Orioles taking over 1st and 10 at their own 47. We've got 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Samson James, the running back. Henry Hessen, the sophomore, in shotgun.
Avon with Farrell back in the backfield playing a little wing work. Again, the backside route's getting a lot of single coverage at times on the 3-by-1 look from Avon.
So that's a short gain there on the pass over to, that was to Moulton there. So I'll bring up, that's a gain of 3 yards there. Second completion of the game for Hessen.
3-by-1 look here from Avon, a 2 safety over the top set.
Give it to James, but they're ready for him. And
no room for the running back from Avon. They're really focusing on this run game. We got a flag on the field,
yeah.
So holding, it looks like.
Well, Fishers, against Avon. Well, Fisher's averaging only 15 points a game on the season, so the Tigers very much trying not to get down, trying not to play from behind, especially with their backup quarterback,
Yeah, this Avon offense, penalties and shooting themselves in the foot has been a reoccurring theme for why they, you put yourself in second and long situations and percentages go way down. So 2-by-2 set here with the from the double stack look to the bottom side of the field for Avon.
So Histon takes it, and it's a keeper, and he runs into somebody, and then he spins around and dives up, stops just short of the 50. Pickup of about 5 there, but it's going to be third and very long for the Orioles. First keeper of the game for Henry Histon.
They've spread teams out a couple times and let Henry do that, which he's got the feet to do it. And it's just another annoying thing as a defense you're going to have to factor in.
Yeah, Histon has a long rush of the year of 38 yards, so he definitely can move it on the ground. So now, same formation, 5:29 to go, third and 13 for the Orioles. Histon drops back to pass, and now he throws up the middle, and it is complete. And he might have the first down, might be a yard short. We got a late hit. We got a late flag. Excuse me. I don't know if it was.
I don't know what that flag could be from. Great pass from Histon over the middle. Throw it on a rope.
Yeah, Stovall was the receiver.
Yeah, it looked like a dig route or something, some sort of dig route by the Avon receiver. Did you see a signal for what the call was there?
No, I didn't, but it's a 15-yarder apparently.
I'm guessing it was some sort of targeting from what I can guess.
So Wallace Stovall got the 12-yard gain and then 15 yards on top of that. So first and 10 for your Orioles at the 22.
Wing back set, 2-by-1 look with the wing in the backfield here from Avon.
Now hand off to James. They're right on top of him. Wow, you got to give the Fishers defense all the credit in the world. I mean, they clearly were geared to stop James tonight, and they hold him for no gain. That's the third consecutive rush of James where he had no gain.
Yeah, look for a lot of penetration there by the Fishers defensive line, getting in the backfield. Bobbled snap from quarterback to running back there is never what you want. Avon's going to have to get a little more cohesiveness on that run game for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Got an RPO coming here.
So give it. Wow, they got him to him again, and wow, he's this time brought down for a loss. I mean, they hammered him.
There's defensive linemen in the backfield. The last several plays here. This Fishers defense is keeping the Avon running game essentially in check.
Oh, yes, indeed. And, these guys, these Fishers linemen definitely enjoy taking shots at a future Ohio State Buckeye.
Must be a lot of Michigan fans over there. So another 2-by-2 look from Avon here.
So now Histon takes it. Drops it back, throws over to the right side. He's got the completion and breaks the tackle, turns around, he drives toward the end zone. Did he get inside? Waiting for the signal.
Great play by Farrell there. Great pass by Histon. Threw it just over that soft cover 2 look. Was able to make the catch. Poor tackle by the safety. And Farrell was able to run down the sideline and put him in scoring position.
Yes, indeed, yes. So, yeah, Farrell picks up 26 yards on that play. Already the fourth different receiver who's caught a pass from Henry Histon today.
Look for Avon to come back to the whip route here on a possible RPO.
So now,
2-back set here from Avon Orioles.
Yes. And now pitches over to James, and he's got it. Touchdown Avon with 3:40 to go.
Quick toss left. Fishers has done a great job of stopping the zone inside run. The ends are crashing down. Avon was able to read that and see that end was crashing down into a quick pitch out left. Fishers did not have a chance there.
Indeed, and now Bandy for the extra point, trying to recover from that missed field goal. And it is up, and it is perfect that time. So 3:40 to go here in the first quarter, and Avon has opened up a 7-0 lead over Fishers on a 2-yard touchdown rush by Ohio State commit Samson James, who had been really stuffed, for short gains and losses prior to that. So good for you. That'll help him get his game on track, hopefully, for the Orioles. Also nice to see Bandy get a clean kick there after being wide left.
He's got the leg. He's just got to, sometimes kickers just got to, they get a little bit, they got to just calm down and do what they do.
Most definitely. And, I always tell, kids if they really are serious about a career in football, maybe especially if they don't have great size, become a kicker, because I have seen a serious lack of quality kickers in, my 7 years of commentating. I mean, I've seen a heck of a lot of big 5A, 6A schools who don't have a kicker who can regularly hit extra points.
Yeah. You do have to get creative sometime out here.
Indeed you do. So now kickoff for the Orioles, 3:40 to go here in the first quarter. They have a 7-0 lead. And it's taken at the 2, right up to the 10, 15. Over to the left side, he's got some room. And now he's spun around and stopped at the 20 with 3:33 to go.
Not a great return by Fishers, but take what you can get on those kick returns.
Yeah, I mean, it was nearly a touchback anyway. So now the Tigers, and I'll tell you, Fishers is a type of team that, they're a scrappy team. They play pretty good defense, but if you get them down by 2 possessions, they are in a very deep hole because they just don't have a whole lot of offense right now.
Yeah, they definitely seem limited offensively, so a little interested. I thought they would go more of a heavy look and try and pound on the Avon defense. It seems they're going to go some 2-by-1 looks.
So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. I believe that Dylan Scally is the running back. Gets the handoff, and he's up for just about 1. They were ready for him. So, I'm sorry, that was H.L. Lewis there for the Tigers. He is a senior. He is the team's leading rusher.
Brevin Good with the tackle there. Again, some guys you may recognize from the JV days. Brevin Good, Tyler Anderson, a few of these guys I'm sure you've recognized if you've worked these games.
A lot of them, yeah. And, of course, Hessen, one of the ones I recognize the most. And then Jarrett Stephen, hopefully we'll get some action tonight because I commentated him a lot. So now another handoff, and they're ready for him, and he gets, again, he might get forward progress up for 1. That'll be about it. So it'll bring up another dreaded 3rd and long for the Tigers.
I got the chance to coach Jarrett last year. Freshman year, he was a lineman. You don't see many people go from lineman as a freshman and then they're running back sophomore, junior, and in the future. So it's kind of a, teaching pass pro is easier than it usually is for most running backs. But yes, I definitely look forward to him getting some carries as well tonight.
Yeah, and I remember thinking as a freshman he would be starting for some varsity teams, just that Avon's such a deep school.
Yes.
So now pass up the middle by Rue. And it was nearly caught, but he was well covered. He got both hands on it, just didn't get the grip.
Get a flag in the backfield.
Could be pass interference. Let's see. That's what Fishers has got to hope for, because so far, I have them as 3 yards of total offense on their 2 possessions. So
looks like a long day for that Fishers offense.
Okay, so it's going to be penalty declined. It's going to be against the 5 yards, but still 5 yards and 2 possessions. So 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, and once again, we got Peterson back deep to receive for Avon. The Orioles already with a 7-0 lead. Phillips back deep. Phillips lined up to punt. It's a high punt, but he gets it.
Nearly
blocked. And it's blocked. It bounces about the 50. Oh, it bounces off his helmet, though. There's a struggle for the ball. Let's see who got it. I think
Avon looks to have got it, but when that ball's bouncing around, you just get out of the way and let it go.
Yeah.
Because that ball can take some crazy bounces, and that's exactly what happens. That's why once it starts bouncing, unless you get a clean one hopper, you let it go.
So Avon, in very good position so far. Orioles enter the game ranked number 3 in the state. They're only lost to the team that's currently number 2, Brownsburg, a couple weeks ago in the rain. So now we got Moulton lined up to the right, 2 receivers to the left. James in the backfield, Hessen in shotgun. And now fixed handoff to James. Screen pass, and it's tipped and knocked out of bounds, though.
Nice play there by number 43, Emmanuel Davis, with the Fishers linebacker there. Was able to read that it was an RPO, saw it was a backside hitch, and was able to get out there and tip a pass.
So 2nd and 10. Fisher's defense is hanging tough. I give them credit. So now we've got Reynolds lined up to the right along with Stovall. And got one other receiver to the left. Now handoff to James. And
a little counter work, and
Fishers
does a great job of blowing up the counter there, and that forced Sampson to kind of change his track and put him in a bad spot there. Again, hats off to this Fishers defense, this run defense, for keeping James in check for most of this game so far.
Yeah, he does have the touchdown, but I have him 7 rushes for 1 yard so far.
Yeah.
So they have contained him, certainly. 2 receivers to each side. Now James, the running back. Hessen in shotgun. 3rd and 10 for the Orioles, leading by 7. Drops back. Got plenty of time. Throws up the middle. It's tipped. And did he get the catch? Yes, he caught it on a tip. It could have been interception, but Wallace Stovall came up with it.
Avon clearly catches the tip pass that the 2 linebackers run into each other. And the far lineman just missed the call. It happens.
Now it's ruled incomplete now. Okay. So 4th and 10 now.
What a tough call. Looked like he clearly caught it, but
yeah, unfortunately, most of the time in high school ball, we don't have the
we don't get to replay it.
Yeah.
So we got to go with the call on the field.
Yep. So now
Coach Bless getting ready to call the challenge flag here, I think.
So 1:12 to go, and Fisher's very lucky.
Mason Miller back to punt.
And now, and Fisher's, he was going aggressively for a return, bobbled it, but maintained control, got out of bounds around the Fisher's 46. So the Tigers taking over in good field position, which they very much need.
Yeah, not sure what the gunner for Avon doing, and then the Fisher's returner continued just to kind of run up and catch it, and the Avon gunner wasn't really aware of what he was doing and dropped the ball, bounced it off the ground, picked it up, and kept running.
So the Tigers taking over at their own 45, 1:04 to go. Very lucky to only be down 7-0.
Yeah, good field position. They're on their own 45, down 7, and I would say the game has not really gone the way that I thought it would for them. So
now we've got 3 receivers lined up to the. We got Colin Stats and Nick, and now a handoff there. Fakes the handoff.
RPO,
and it's over the head though. The intended receiver there. Was number 16, Nick Cohoon. He is a senior.
Yeah, we have a little RPO action with a quick rocket, quick screen to the 3-by-1 look, the three receiver side look. Jalen Peters did a great job of engaging the receiver, blocking him. Even if that pass would have been on point, I don't think much would have happened with it.
No, they had very few yards.
You know, the Fisher's QB is going to have to get rid of the ball quick. He's not getting a lot of time to throw it. They're trying to do some RPOs mixed in with some, passing, but he's not going to have a lot of time to throw it tonight.
So now the Tigers with 2 receivers to each side. They need to get something going here. Handoff there to Lewis. He's got some room on the left side, but, he only picks up about 2. So 50 seconds.
Not a lot of room there. Not a lot of room for the Fisher's offense.
44 seconds to go, and they give Lewis credit for 2 yards on that carry. So now 3rd and 8 at the Fisher's 47. Very big 3rd down for the Tigers. They're not a team who's real comfortable with a lot of 3rd and longs, but that's what they've been in so far in their 3 possessions today. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now Rue passes, and there's miscommunication. The intended receiver there was Colin Stats, but he had his back to the ball.
Yeah, so. not a lot available there for the Fisher's offense. I'm not sure where he was thrown to. I think he was trying to get rid of it over to the dig route from number 1, but the D-line, again, providing pressure on the QB.
So Jack Phillips in punt formation, a very familiar sight already in this young game. 7:29 your time of day here at Avon. Takes the snap, and he
fake,
and he goes over to the right side. He could still, now he does punt it, but it's blocked and it goes out of bounds. So Avon will take over in excellent field position.
Looked to be a little bit of a rugby punt there. Fake / rugby / I'm going to kick it here last second. Did not work out well for him. I'm trying to see if that's what Coach Wimmer and the special teams coach wanted for Fishers. I'm not sure he kicked it when Coach, I think, wanted him to.
Yeah, definitely, he definitely did not pick a good time to kick it. And now Avon with 4 seconds left in the first quarter. They line up Stovall to the right, Moulton to the left.
Last play of the first quarter here with 4 seconds left.
Hessen in shotgun. Hands off to, no, he fakes the handoff. No, Moulton's got it on the right side. He's got some room. He could have the first down. He does inside the 30, up to about the 25 as time expires in the first quarter.
Yeah, Moulton with the reverse there. I think the Avon offense is looking to get a little creative because they're putting so many people. They're focusing on Samson James here, so they're trying to do something to keep this Fishers defense a little honest right now.
Indeed, yes. So after 1 quarter of play here at Avon, your score, Avon 7, Fisher 0. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. State Bank of Lisden serving you across Hendricks County and Boone County. Count on us for your mortgage, loan, home equity, and banking needs. Mention this ad and get a free gift when Avon wins on Friday nights. Visit us at statebankofliston.com, that's statebankofliston.com, to see our bank dog Charlie welcome you. Well, back here at Avon, we're about to start the second quarter with your third-ranked Avon Orioles off to mostly a very good start against the Fishers Tigers. The Orioles have struggled to finish drives, but overall they've clearly dominated. They're clearly the superior team tonight. They just need, and if they finish a couple of drives here in the second quarter, they will take firm control over this game, Sam.
Yeah, I don't think you panic if you're Avon here.
No.
Yeah, I think you're the better team. You have more firepower to kind of throw at this team. You just gotta go off your training and just keep playing, and I think they'll be able to pound the ball and kind of find that offensive flow, which this young offense sometimes finds itself in a bit of a struggle. Sometimes it seems.
Yeah, sometimes, and the main thing is just patience, and just remember what got you this far to your 4-1 start and number 3 ranking. So now, 1st and 10 for the Orioles. And now, handoff there, and he's got his hole up the middle. He could go, and yes, Samson James, did he get it, or did he break the plane?
Wow,
I didn't.
Nice run by Samson there. We had it looked like the tight end was pulling there to lead up on the drive there. Samson James able to get vertical quicker, better than most backs. Better than probably any back right now in the state, able to get vertical with the power and strength and speed he has.
Yes, indeed. So Samson James, that was his first long gain of the evening. And so sometimes you just got to be patient with your guys. And so now Brody on the kick, and it is up, and it is good. So he's 2 for 2 in extra points after that missed field goal. So 14-0 Avon lead here.
Yeah, explosive run there from Samson James. I think with what Avon was doing is keeping Fisher's offense with some of the reverses, with some of the quick tosses. They were really packing that box in, got him to loosen up a little bit. That tight end led up with a power lead there, and Samson James did the rest. Hey, hats off to the O-line there.
Yes, outstanding job. And so for the first time in this game, well, really, if you take away the 2 touchdowns, Fishers has really contained James all night. But fortunately for the Orioles, they did get him across the goal line twice, and now they have a very commanding 14-0 lead. And a 14-0 lead, a 14-0 deficit for a team that averages only 15 points a game.
It's not good, man.
Yeah. So things looking up for the
although they put up some good points last week against a solid Brownsburg team. So
yeah, they did, only losing by 7.
Hopefully the Avon team doesn't get too far themselves here.
Yeah, and so kickoff, it is fielded there near the goal line, right up to the 5-10, and now they get right on top of him, stop him around the 13.
Yeah, not a smart return there by Sean Kim there for the Fishers team. You want to either catch the ball on the one with momentum move forward, or do you want to let it go in the end zone, or puts your team in a bad spot as returner. So, again, not what you want to do as a returner. put your offense in a struggling offense in a bad position. It's not where you want to start.
Not at all, no. And so now Fishers, they have 7 total yards on their first 3 possessions combined by my count. They need to get something going here, trailing Avon 14-0. 2 receivers to the right, 1 running back. Rue under center, excuse me. And now handoff there, I believe that's Lewis, and they're ready for him. He gets maybe 1 or 2.
Again, not a lot of room. This Avon team strength is, they have strengths just about every position. So, not sure where Fishers can try to attack here, but they're going to have to keep establishing the run, because if you allow that defensive line to pin their ears back, it puts that quarterback in some bad spots.
Yes, indeed. So, a
little close set here with 2 receivers to the right.
So now fix the handoff, rolls to his right, and he incomplete there. He was trying to hit Jack Free.
Yeah, the Fishers team ran that play to death last year. So they go some 2 tight end sets, sometimes a twin look. They motion the guy there, but they're going to show run to the left side and then boot out, looking to get a play action to the leaking tight end out backside. So, again, Fishers ran that play, I would say 5 or 6 times at least last year. We weren't able to adjust till late, but Avon looked a bit ready for that, although they're going to, I guarantee the Fishers offense is going to come back to that play. Brownsburg ran a similar play to score on Avon with that, so I look for them to come back to that.
So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Fishers on 3rd and 10. Drops
screen play.
And it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Scally there, but it looked like there was just a miscommunication there between the 2. So 1 for 7 through the air for Marcus Rue, the quarterback of Fishers. He's a junior, started off the season as a backup, then has replaced senior starter John Vore in game 2. So 7 yards through the first 4 drives for Fishers on offense.
What happened to the Fishers starting quarterback?
He got injured in game 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the Mudsock match he got hurt in?
I don't think so. That was it was week 2.
Oh man, another punt almost blocked there by the Avon Orioles.
This time they Avon wisely lets it let the Fishers down it, so Avon will take over at their own 46. So there's not much that's not going right for the Orioles so far.
Yeah, and to think that first drive there, it seemed like they were on the 3-yard line, and they moved back.
Yeah, Avon, of course, Fishers is lucky it's not 21-0 now, because Avon, they had it down to their, as far as the 6, and ended up missing a field goal. So now Stovall lined up to the left, Peterson to the right.
Running game starting to get a little going here for the Avon Oriole offense.
Yeah, two touchdown rushes by Samson James. Now gives it to James. He's got a hole, and he gets up past the 50 to about the 48 or 47.
Hey, there was a little bit of penetration there by the Fishers defensive line, but James does a good job avoiding the tackler and hitting the hole.
Indeed, they give him credit for 6 on that one.
If the Avon team, this is what you want to do. You continue to help your young quarterback stay calm by having a good running game.
So now once again, Peterson to the left, Stovall to the right, Hessen in shotgun, James the running back. 10:07 to go. Avon with the ball and a 14-0 lead, and the play is whistled dead. We got the flag.
Offsides by Fishers.
Yeah,
Cam Field there with the offsides. Got to watch the ball there.
So that will be a first down for the Orioles. And Sam, that's one thing. This is the first time I've ever had a coach in the booth with me, so you're able to pick out stuff like that better than I can. I always see the second guy who moved. I'd be a terrible official. So now
watch that ball if you're a D lineman.
Yes, you do. So now a low snap, but he gets it over to James, but they're ready for him, and they bring him down for a loss. So Fishers, their rushing defense, except for the 2 touchdowns they gave up, has played very well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that D-line is getting penetration at times. Avon's going with a heavy look. They got a wing to the right and a tight end to the right. So they're overloading one side. They're trying to power it down, but again, the backside's got to hold the fort down essentially. But the Fishers D line's getting in there, causing problems. So
9:27 to go in the second quarter. Avon with the ball, 2nd and 13 with a 14-0 lead. One receiver to each side. James, the running back. Hessen in shotgun takes it, gives it to James. This time he's got a hole, and he gets up for about 5, but it'll still be 3rd and long.
That was very close to going a very long way. Nice play. I'm not sure who got the tackle there, but if he breaks that, he's going.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see the speed the young man has.
It's kind of a unique combination of speed and power. You know, it's almost what every back has to be. You can't have just speed. You can't have just power. A running back, you kind of got to have it both in this day and age.
Indeed, yes. So big 3rd and 9 for the Fishers defense, and 2 receivers to each side. James still in there, running back. Hessen in shotgun. Gets the snap, gives it to James. They're on top of him. He dodges one.
Draw play did not work well there. Yeah, again, a lot of penetration by that Fishers defensive line. Hats off to them for making the play there and reading the draw.
Indeed, yeah, and they stop him. They give him credit for no gain. I thought, he might actually be given a loss there, but nevertheless, outstanding job there by the Fishers defense. And now
Mason Miller barely gets the punt off. We've had a night full of nice return there by the Fishers team. I don't know what the gunner for the Avon team was doing. He somehow did not find the punt. I don't know if the punter was screaming out left there, but the punt goes far left. Not a bad punt. Not a great job covering there by the Avon team.
Yeah, it's one of their few down points in this game. I mean, it's still a very, very solid maybe A- performance by Avon so far. I mean, they've looked very, very good. They've looked focused. They've looked business-like, as they did apparently last week in that 48 win over Franklin Central.
I think the only game I've watched this year where they didn't look in rhythm or it wasn't business-like was probably that Brownsburg game. So, which I know that matchup's coming. Here comes sectionals time. So
yeah, certainly a chance for the Orioles to get a little redemption there. So now 2 receivers to the right, to the left, 1 to the right. Fishers hasn't gotten much going on offense at all, and now drops back, and now the pass is deflected and falls to the ground. We got a late flag. Let's see what that's all about. 7:40 to go here. Fishers with only 7 yards of total offense by my count. Now they're up to their 5th possession.
And if this leads increase, I really worry about oh wow,
face mask against the Orioles.
This Fishers offensive line is not going to have much of a chance if they're going to have to pass most of this game because they're not doing well blocking this front for the Avon team.
Yeah, and Rue, the junior backup, only 17 for 40 with no touchdowns and 4 interceptions on the season. So
this is, from the Avon defense, this is a little bit of a different look than we usually see with the 4-down lineman set. A little different than the customary 3-3-5 look. So, again, if they've been planning all week against a 3-3-5 for a higher percentage time, and now they're getting all 4 lineman looks against a D lineman that can dominate them. So
now 1st and 10 at the 48 for the Tigers, the best field position they've had all game. Now a handoff there, and he gets up for about 4 or 5.
Yeah, nice run by the running back there for Fishers.
Yeah, Dylan Scally, who's a junior for the Tigers. And then that moves Fishers into Avon territory for the first time all game. They give him credit for.
So I think if you're Fishers, that's something you're going to have to keep coming back to, getting 4 and 5 and 6-yard runs to tire out that defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, all you need is 3.4 yards of carry to keep the chains moving. So.
Yep.
So 2nd and 6 at the 48. Handoff again to Scally, and this time he gets up for about 2, so it'll be 3rd and 4.
3rd and manageable. Third and manageable here.
Yeah, 3rd and 4, which is good. I think this is the best, the fewest
yes.
yards to go that Fishers has had on 3rd down so far in this game.
Absolutely, by far.
Yes. So now the Tigers with 6:35 to go. And keep in mind, they do get the ball first to start the second half. So if they cut the lead, if they make it a one-possession game, they'll have a chance to tie or take the lead starting off the second half. So now, one receiver to each side. Scally, the running back, fakes the handoff to Scally. This time, Rue rolls to the right and throws downfield, but it's incomplete, bringing up fourth down.
Fishers came back to the boot where they come back to the tight end leaking out, and they had a drag man there, but the quarterback wasn't able to connect there.
So 4th and 4. Let's see if it looks like they are. Like Jack Phillips is going to punt again. I guess trying to pin the Orioles down deep in their own territory.
Again, bad snap.
Oh, and he's running after it, and he's got it. He's going to have to try to get rid of it, or else it's going to be.
Boy.
Oh, he should have. If nothing else, thrown it away. So now Phillips is going to be brought down for about a 30-yard loss. So Avon now knocking on the door of what would be a nearly insurmountable 3-possession lead at the exact midway point here in the second quarter. They lead 14-0 against a fairly limited offense. So that'll go down as a 31-yard loss there for Fishers.
So great field position here from the Avon Orioles now. Ball on the 17-yard line.
Yes, indeed. So 2 receivers to each side. James, the running back. Hessen in shotgun. Avon going for the dagger here.
Oh, this is big play time. Trying to get the score.
It's thrown in the middle. Incomplete.
Hey, Hessen with a great throw there. Stovall is able to get his hands on it, but you have to go get that ball. You can't keep drifting back. And the DB came up, looks like almost instantaneously right when he caught it and might have knocked it away. But if you're Stovall, you have to go get that ball a little bit. Now, again, a sophomore here, so a lot of potential from Stovall. I've watched him as a freshman, and a lot of potential from him.
Oh, yeah, he was outstanding last season as a freshman for the Orioles as a wide receiver.
One DB out over the 2 receiver side for Avon here.
So now a screen pass over to the left. It's a completion, and he's up to about the 10.
Again, not sure what Fishers were looking to do, but two receivers to the top of the wide side of the field. Looked like they had a safety creeping over there, but the linebacker came out late. But when we have 2 receivers wide open and 1 DB back there, a lot of teams in the 6A are going to have quick adjustments so you can get to the line of scrimmage and get that ball snapped quick and get it out to those guys.
That's an 8-yard gain, by the way, by Aaron Reynolds. He's the 5th Oriole to catch a pass in this game.
Spreading the ball around a little bit.
Yeah, it's always good to see.
It's always nice to have options here, more than 2 or 3 receivers.
Oh, yeah. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, James the running back. And Hessen drops into pass. He throws into the end zone. Did he get it? No, incomplete, so it'll bring up 4th and 2.
That vaunted back shoulder they came back to again. It was there. I just don't think Peterson was able to quite pull that one in.
So 4th and 2, looks like they are going to go for a field goal here. And that would, by the way, that would make it a 3-possession lead, 17-0. And that would be very, very hard for Fishers to overcome. Very hard. So Bandy, he missed a 31-yarder earlier in the game, but he's hit it from as long as 32 this season. This one from 27. And it is up, and it is...
There we go.
Good. So there's that 3-possession lead with 4:59 to go.
From the snap to the hold to the kick, there's a lot of things that can go on. Jalen Love with the hold there. You want to, a lot of things can go wrong. A lot of things can go well during kicks. When things go wrong, usually the kicker's the only one that ends up on the, getting notated as missing a kick or something. So
a lot
absolutely goes into those kicks, and not every time is it the kicker's fault.
No.
Believe it or not.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And, like I said, I always, I'll tell you, for any of you youngsters who want to be a kicker, I suggest go. It's probably on YouTube or someplace. Go online and find The Art of Soccer-Style Kicking by Jan Stinnerud, who is one of only 2 kickers, not counting George Blanda, who is also a quarterback. Jan Stinnerud is only one of 2 kickers in the Hall of Fame, along with Morten Andersen. And Stinnerud revolutionized kicking. He came from Norway, had never played American football before, but he introduced the soccer-style kick to American football, and now which has now become what most kickers
Pretty
use.
much all we have now.
Yeah.
Or you could, if you're long snapping NFL, you can make, $500,000 long snapping a football. Not bad either.
No, that's right. And it's just a touchback.
Looks like Bandy has got his rhythm and feel back.
Indeed, he does. And
Booting the ball into the end zone.
So 4:59 to go here in the first half. Avon looks like they're going to be on their way to a comfortable victory over Fishers.
I think if you're Fishers here, you just want to try to find something that works.
Yes.
Something where you can get some positive yardage. You got to get a first down. I don't remember the last first down. There's not been many. So I think they just got to find something that works for them, whatever it is.
Fishers actually does not have an earned first down in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
3-by-1 set here again. I really worry about the pass rush from this Avon defensive line. It's going to give them some problems.
Takes the handoff.
Quick pass here. Great blocking on the edge.
It, but he only picks up about 4 or 5. Stats got the first reception as well. And now Rue is 2 for 9 on the ground today. They give him credit for 4 on that one. 2nd and 6 for the Tigers at the 24. So they break huddle now. They line up 2 receivers.
2-by-2 set by Fishers here with one running back in the backfield.
So now Rue in shotgun.
Jet motion. Oh, that's a penalty.
Not called, though.
No call.
Rue rolls to his left, throws, but it's just a little too low. Incomplete.
It's been about 50 for 50 this year that I've seen that called. So Fisher's jet motions here, but he started moving forward before the ball was snapped, which, again, it's been a 50-50 call this year. But, I think booting out and getting that quarterback who seems to have pretty good feet, now throwing on the run, it seems to be a little more accurate than he is in the pocket. So look for this Fishers team to maybe find something to hang their hat on similar to that, getting that pocket moved. Again, blocking this Avon defensive line is going to be a big task for this Fishers offensive line throughout the night.
Yes, indeed. So now a handoff there, and they're right on top of him. He breaks a couple of tackles, but rolls over to his right and runs out of space. That was Lewis there, and it looks like he's going to be brought down right around the line of scrimmage, maybe slightly below or behind. Excuse me. They give him credit for -2. So 4th and 8 now. And now we've got Peterson back deep to receive. He's standing on the Avon 43. Phillips gets the punt off this time. It bounces up the 45. It takes a Fisher's bounce inside the 40 up to about the 36.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, they got the punt off there.
They did, yes. Rather than a 31-yard.
Now I make fun of this. I remember 3 or 4 years ago when we went to Fishers. We had a snap. Ethan, the long snapper for the Orioles, was a senior night when he was a freshman.
Yeah.
Launched one over the punter's head. So I think that was the last. I don't want to jinx him by saying that's the last one he gets, but Ethan Warren's been a pretty solid snapper back there. You don't hear from them long snappers until something goes wrong sometimes.
That's true, yeah. It's really a position people take for granted. It's a very important position, though. So now one receiver to each side. Hand off to James. Got hold the middle, and he's past the 50 and up to about the 48. So it's first down for the Orioles, about a 14-yard pickup by Samson James. That's his second longest carry of the evening behind the 29-yard touchdown. And they give him credit for 15 and got a better spot. Got a better spot than I thought.
That defensive line is starting to loosen up a little bit. That Avon offensive line is starting to lean on them, and that's what they want to do. That is exactly, you're playing right into what Avon wants to do. It's kind of a good playoff offense to be able to rely on.
Indeed. So now Hessen in shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And he fakes the handoff to James, drops it back, throws up the middle, and it is caught inside the 30, up inside the 25. He's brought down.
Nice catch by Farrell. The Avon team didn't have him through the first couple games, but as the year goes along, he's starting to find his place at tight end, running those seam routes. He's got great size on him, too.
Indeed, yes. So Farrell Farrell, two for 49 in receiving in this game.
6'3", 220. Junior, a lot of returners on this receiving.
So now a low snap, but Hessen gets it, and he dodges, but he's brought down after a short gain of about 3. 2:37 to go now.
I don't know if I want to see the quarterback carrying the ball like that, but hopefully Coach Moore can remind his QB to tuck that ball away when he's scrambling around back there.
Indeed, yes. Hessen picks up 3 there on the keeper, bringing up 2nd and 7. And by the way, Farrell became the first Oriole in this game to catch 2 passes. Hessen has completed 6, and he to 5 different receivers. So now Peterson to the left, Stovall to the right, James
single high safety. Look for this run by James.
And we got his flag.
Again, this Fisher's defense is going to have to pick whether they want to stop the run or try to stay over the top of this Avon offense. It looks like the single high safety, they're going to try to put 7-8 in the box to try and slow Sampson down.
Okay. So let's see. It's going to be against Avon.
This might be the most holds I've seen in a first half of a game.
So 1:59 to go here in the first half. At Avon, your Orioles comfortably ahead of Fisher 17-0. Samson James has 2 touchdowns for the Orioles. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Samson James, the running back. Hessen in shotgun.
2-by-2 look here from Avon with a 2 safety high look from Fishers.
So Hessen drops back. He's got time, and he throws. He's got the completion there over to Stovall, but it's only still going to bring up 3rd and long.
It's like 3rd and about, let's call it 6 or 5. 6.5, 5.5.
Gain of 12 there. So that puts Hessen over the 100-yard mark.
Another 2-by-2 look here from the Avon Orioles. Fishers with a single high, which does not bode well for the seams here on this. So
now 3rd and 6. Hessen, he throws into the end zone, but his man falls down, and it's incomplete. So bring up 4th and 6. This would be a 37-yard field goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like the Jalen Peterson's feet might have gotten tangled up with the DB there and wasn't able to make it.
Possibly, yeah. So now a 37-yard field goal attempt by Bandy. He hit from 27 and missed from 31 in this game. This will be 37. This will be a season long for him. It is up, and it is
good.
Good. So 20-0 your score. But, you know, at the same time, Sam, if you're Fishers, you got to be thankful. I mean, you could be down 35-0 easily now.
Oh, yeah. Again, if you're Fishers, you just want to come out here and find something that your offense can find a little bit of a rhythm with against this vaunted Avon defense.
Yeah.
You know, again, with the 4D lineman look, you know, it takes a little bit of adjusting to. I expect Coach Wimmer to go in here at halftime and have a plan of attack against the slightly different look from this Avon defense.
Oh, yes, definitely. And that's one thing, you know, when at halftime when you're in a game like this, even if you know there's little chance of coming back to win, you've got to concentrate on finishing strong, playing a good half.
You just got to keep playing, you know. That's a whole second half. Anything can happen. I know Coach Wimmer will have his guys ready here coming out, and hopefully the last minute in this drive they'll have something for them.
And, of course, they are playing the number 3 team in the state, you know. I mean, there's a lot of teams who Avon would be beating a lot worse than 20-0 right now. Like they beat Franklin Central 48-0 last week.
It was a good the Franklin Central team, though, touchback there by the Avon team. I was impressed with some of the organization. Obviously, the stadium in Franklin Central I was impressed with. Sometimes you don't got the guys. Some years, sometimes you got the guys. It's kind of how the chips fall. But they they were crisp in a lot of the things they did. I noticed they just were a little short on dudes.
Yeah, it happens to the best of them. I mean, even, Ben Davis, I mean, I know they were up against Warren Central, but 70-27 last week. I mean, just
I think that Ben Davis team is going to be, when playoff time comes, going to be a lot different team than the start of the season. So
it could be.
They got a lot of growing to do. They have new staff in place, so a lot of moving parts there.
Indeed, yes. Always a learning curve associated with that. But now Fishers goes back on offense. Handoff there, and he gets up for about 1 or 2. That was Lewis there, H.L. Lewis. Don't know what the H.L. stands for. That is an unusual that is unusual initials for somebody to go by. They give him credit
like
for
he should
one.
be an author or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
I think there is a isn't that Line Witch and Wardrobe?
I'm not sure. H.L. Minkin?
Lewis,
that's C.S. Lewis.
There you go.
Yeah.
Am I off?
I think there's
we're Googling it at halftime, all right?
Yeah, good idea. I think there's an H.L. Minkin, but yeah, I know C.S. Lewis. I think wrote the book you're talking about.
So he's a we'll just say he's a H.L. Lewis is a writer, just for fun.
Yeah, yeah. That would it sounds like it would work, but we'll have to see. It's 44 seconds to go now in the first half at Avon.
So second 9, you're down 20, 44 seconds left in the half. I think you're just trying to make sure you're not putting yourself in a worse position going into half.
Although with 2 receivers, 2 wide receivers out, and now a handoff there. But they bring Lewis down for a loss this time, bringing up another dreaded 3rd and long for the Tigers. And Avon takes a timeout, so apparently they're hoping to, get the ball back, with some good time left here, to get another score.
With the way this Avon defense is playing against this Fishers offense, who's struggling to get positive yards and to get an actual first down in this first half, I think if you're Avon, you're not too worried about anything that Fishers is going to do on 3rd and 12. I think you let them pin their ears back. You watch for screens and you make sure nothing goes over the top. And other than that, there's not a lot Fishers has been able to do.
Yeah, they just don't have the horses right now. And they are normally a great program, They won the 2010 Class 5A state championship when Class 5A was the highest class in the state. They've also won 2 other sectional championships, but certainly struggling this year. And now Rue Niels, which likely will end the half. Yes. So a very good first half for Avon. That could have been a great first half. Nevertheless, they lead Fishers 20-0 here at halftime. My name is Lex Zorn, joined by Sam Penrod. We're going to take a short pause for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with a few words, with a recap and some scores from the other games and a look ahead. You're listening to Avon Orioles football here on audiosportsonline.com. McNamara Florist has been Indy's hometown florist since 1954, providing home, business, hospital, and funeral home deliveries of outstanding fresh arrangements and plants throughout the greater Indianapolis area, including Avon. McNamara Florist is famous for its unique floral design for all occasions that help its clients express their emotions through flowers and floral giftware. Visit any of McNamara Florist's 7 convenient locations for outstanding personal service and floral design, or to select from the renowned home decor merchandise, including stunning Christmas classics. Also think of McNamara Florist to provide your floral needs for weddings, home parties, or corporate functions. Contact a sales representative for McNamara Florist at 317-579-7900. That's 317-579-7900. Or visit their website at McNamaraFlorist.com. That's McNamaraFlorist.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They're conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone is 317-243-2372. That's 317-243-2372, and they're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com. That's reynoldsbodyshop.com. Avon has a rich wrestling tradition. Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be a part of that. Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the red brick building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under, and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. Well, back here at Avon, we're at halftime with your 3rd-ranked Avon Leading Orioles, apparently on their way to improving to 5-1 on the season. They lead the conference rival Fishers Tigers by a score of 20-0. It's a game in which Avon has generally dominated, except they've had a little trouble finishing off drives. And they could easily be up now by about 35-0. With 3:40 to go in the first quarter, Samson James scored on a 2-yard touchdown rush. The extra point by Nick Bandy made the score 7-0. Then early in the second quarter, James scored on a 29-yard rush. Bandy's extra point made it 14-0. Then with 4:59 to go in the second quarter, Bandy kicked a 27-yard field goal, making the score 17-0, and with 57 seconds to go in the quarter, he kicked a season-long 37-yarder, making the score 20-0. A look at the individual statistics. First of all, for your Orioles, starting quarterback Henry Hessen has completed 7 of 15. Starting quarterback Henry Hessen has completed 7 of 15 passes for 105 yards. His leading receiver so far is our leading receiver so far is Tice Farrell, who has 2 receptions for 49 yards, followed by Wallace Stovall with 2 for 24. Jalen Peterson, 1 for 28. Aaron Reynolds, 1 for 8. And Cameron Moulton, 1 for 3. On the ground, Samson James leads the way with 13 rushes for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Hessen has 2 for 8. Peterson has 2 for -5. And Moulton has 1 for 11. Meanwhile, for Fishers, not a whole lot to report at all. Quarterback Marcus Rue has completed 2 of 10 passes for 6 yards. Colin Stats has both receptions, obviously for 6 yards. Then on the ground, Dylan Scully has rushed 4 times for 9 yards. H.L. Lewis has rushed 5 times for 1 yard. And the punter Jack Phillips, 1 for -31 on a botched play. So this is a game in which Avon, the big disappointment is that they didn't score a touch, that they ended up missing a field goal when they on their first possession, when they had it when they had it down to the 6-yard line, and then ended up missing a field goal, and then that they settled for field goals on 2 drives through the second quarter. But other than that, there's really not a lot that's gone. This has been an A- performance by Avon, and it certainly has helped that Fishers has gotten nothing going on the ground to speak of. Fishers does not have an earned first down in this game yet. They've gotten in Oriole territory only once, and then they ended up losing 31 yards on the bad snap there when Jack Phillips was in punt formation. So this is a game in which Avon is clearly in cruise control. They were expected to win. Fishers, though they are a marquee program, they're struggling this year. They're down to their second-string quarterback, off to a 1-4 start. Though, it's one of those things of, had I been Coach Bless, I would have warned the kids that, this Fishers team lost by only 7 to Brownsburg last week, and Brownsburg beat Avon by 14 2 weeks ago. So this is a game where it wasn't a sure thing, but Avon has come out very focused and businesslike, and clearly, was ready for the challenge, and they've taken their opponent very seriously, not looking ahead to next week. And Sam, I think that it's a sign of a mature, focused team when you don't take any of your wins for granted, when you come out focused every week, no matter how much of a favorite you are.
Are you giving play-by-play on the homecoming court?
No.
Okay.
no. But no, I was just saying, Sam, that I think it's a sign of a mature team when they come out business-like and focused. Even when they're a heavy favorite.
I think in the HCC, anytime, any game, a team can come out. These are all 6A teams. I think maybe Zionsville's only 5A, right?
Yeah. Westfield had to move up to 6A after they won the Class 5A state championship a couple of years ago.
And their enrollment is shot up too.
Yeah,
so
it has. Yeah.
I think if you're an HCC team, every game's usually pretty competitive. I don't think Franklin Central, they'll probably won't get a win this year. They'll probably have a little bit of a rough, incoming to the HCC, and I'm sure they'll adjust. And
they will.
It's new because everybody, you're kind of familiar with what schemes people run. So for Franklin Central, they're adding all new ones. But this Avon team, this senior class has been watched and talked about for several years. So I think their expectations are pretty high too. So they know. It's not out of their expectations. It's not unfamiliar to them. I think they know the ultimate task at hand. And, but you got to be consistent with what you do in football, and that's kind of the name of the game.
It is, yeah. And I think one thing that I've seen with Cascade this year, I've covered Cascade varsity the first 12 weeks of the season, and they've done a lot of good things. But one thing I've seen is a couple of times they came across a very emotional win with a flat performance the next week where maybe they got a little big-headed because of the win. But they're a very junior-dominated team. I think when they're senior-dominated next year, they'll be better. But Avon, when you look at these guys in this program, I mean, this is such a highly disciplined program there by Coach Bless. Yeah. And, these guys, when I watched these guys when they were freshmen and when they were sophomores, they looked focused and business-like then. And you're talking about 14, 15-year-old kids.
Yeah.
So, clearly, you can see why Avon has become a consistent top 10, nearly now a consistent top 5 team.
Yeah, I think they've come a long way, and they've just been a consistent. Consistency is what consistent in the playoffs, consistent wins. Having close games with those powerhouses, even if necessarily you don't win, and kind of letting them know, hey, we're going to be here for a while, and they've definitely done that these last 5 or 6 years. Yeah,
and when you see like these kids who are in high school now, they look at, that they saw, Brandon Peters going up to Michigan, and other guys going Division I, and then last year's starting quarterback Cameron Meisner, not quite as heralded, but still going to a Division II school, the University of Indianapolis.
My alma mater.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Oh, okay.
And Coach Wimmers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
A lot of UND alums around here.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I've been to a lot of their games over the years, and so. And when you see that you have that many guys, when these young kids who are in high school now see all these guys above them getting Division I scholarships, they know the system works. Yeah. So it's easy to get them to buy into it and listen to the coaches.
Well, I think if you're a quarterback, it's hard to not want to play at Avon because we're starting to get a pretty good lineage of quarterbacks. Hessen seems to be the next one in line.
So it looks like he'll be the third starting quarterback in a row to play college ball.
Absolutely. College baseball, college football, he has a very bright future.
Yeah.
I think he'll be, the very promising future just by what little we've seen in this, 4, 5, 6 games from his sophomore season. I think the sky's the limit for him in his abilities. So.
Oh, yeah, it is. And, he was so good as a freshman last year on the freshman team. And I remember there was one game I commentated in which 3 of his first passes of the game went for touchdowns. And now the side note is the other one did go for an interception. But, when you throw 3 touchdowns and 4 passes, you can excuse the interception.
Yeah, now I'm sure Coach Cameron probably wasn't too excited about it. But sometimes it's, again, much like with the snappers and holders, the kickers are usually – the ones that get hung up on the route or hung up when there's a miss.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, us receivers run wrong routes, and it's only seen when the quarterback is chasing them, running back for a pick 6 or something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, very often an interception is not the quarterback's fault. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, and I didn't play football. I just watched. But, it's one of those things since I started commentating. This is my 7th season now. Since I started commentating, certainly it's changed the way I watch it, and I pick out things that I would not have picked out when I was just a fan. And so, you see that a lot of times, You know, I mean, basically the quarterback's relying on 10 other guys. You know, so yeah, a lot of times receivers run the wrong routes, and it reminds me of when the Colts lost the Super Bowl to the Saints, and I remember some people said they believed that the game-clinching interception that New Orleans made was because Reggie Wayne ran the wrong route. And I remember in the press conference after the game, Peyton evaded the question when asked.
I was at that Super Bowl on the sidelines.
Wow.
I don't think it was the wrong route.
Yeah.
I think the Tracy Porter jumped the route.
Yeah.
He had help over the top.
Yeah.
And he just jumped the route. And Peyton's smart enough not to throw anybody under the bus. But if you watch the Colts that year, Reggie Wayne ran that little 5-yard dig route. The timing was perfect. They ran it to perfection. But Tracy Porter was sitting on it and jumped right in front of it. I'm not as much worried about that as I was the onside kick. That's what I get a little more sad about, because that thing, I swear we had it 3 different times in that scrum, but it is what it is. I remember they were actually fixing Dwight Freeney's. Yeah. They were changing his 7 studs to some different studs because it's a sand and dirt type of field down in Miami.
Right.
So they were changing his cleats, and that play happened. He wasn't even out there, I don't think, for the first play because they were still getting everything changed with the drills and getting his cleats changed. But that was you felt the momentum change on that play. And it was just a different game after that. It felt like we were chasing them, and they had all the momentum the rest of the second half.
Yeah, and we just never were able to stop their array of short passes either by Drew Brees. I mean, Drew Brees didn't give the most spectacular performance I've ever seen by a quarterback in a Super Bowl, but he was just so extremely efficient.
I've never seen a quarterback be that tuned in and just accurate and precise.
Yeah, exactly.
Like those final drives. He was just – you kind of had a feeling that there was nothing stopping them, honestly, and a little hopeless on the Colts sideline.
Yeah, and, I remember the first – for most athletes – I don't remember the first time I heard of them. They just sort of faded into my consciousness. Yes. But with Drew Brees, I do remember it was 20 years ago. When he was a sophomore, it was Joe Tiller's second year at Purdue as the head coach. And they were playing Wisconsin on a late Saturday night game on ESPN. And even though Purdue lost the game, Brees set the all-time NCAA record for attempts and completions in the game. It was something like 56 for 83. I'll have to look up the exact numbers, but it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, growing up in Northern Indiana, being a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
I remember the Drew Brees eras because they had a lot of, domination over Notre Dame at that time. So,
right. Yeah.
That was when Tiller was, I think, at his peak, and
he was
a great little system. Even Orton and the guys that after that had a lot of success too. So I mean,
now
I don't know what to say about it now in the QBs that are there, but I know Coach Brom will find somebody that he'll have a lot of success with.
Yeah, and of course I remember Jeff Brom very well when he played at the University of Louisville in the late 80s and early 90s. And then,
Arena.
Yeah, and he was the head coach of our arena football team, the Louisville Fire, and I met him back then. And I have his XFL jersey too, by the way. So, and he was the first team all XFL quarterback in that league's only season of existence back in 2001 with the Orlando Rage.
They need to bring it back.
Oh, they are in 2020, yeah.
Was it XFL? But isn't there another one they're bringing back as well?
There was talk about bringing back the USFL, but it hasn't happened yet.
I wish they would have kept the World League, too, with the NFL Europe.
Oh, yeah, I loved that, yeah. It was a great way to, develop our guys while introducing the sport to Europe.
Yeah, I think you see a little bit of those effects because they still have some overseas leagues in Europe, just not.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah,
NFL affiliated. I know I've seen some UND alums go to some Italian football leagues and
stuff
like that.
And I had this about 20 years ago. I had this German girlfriend. Not girlfriend, but she was a
girl that was a friend.
Yeah,
I got you.
And she was a big American football fan, and she would, talk about watching the games on satellite. And she was staying up pretty late to watch them too over there because they're 6 hours ahead in Germany.
Cool to watch.
Oh yeah, and she would occasionally ask me, questions about the game, still trying to understand. But yeah, she liked it better than soccer.
Yeah,
and which is very rare.
Very rare
because soccer is so dominant over there in Europe. But now you mentioned you went to U of I. Did you play there?
Yeah.
Okay. What years?
02 to 06.
Okay.
Football and track there.
Okay. All right. Then you were part of the most spectacular game I ever saw.
Yes,
Michigan Tech in 03. Yes, I was at that game.
I was the only receiver that didn't have I had like 98 yards or 95 or something.
Yeah.
All the other 3 receivers all had 100 yards.
Okay.
And that was the longest, there was like 120 points scored in that game.
Yeah, it's 59-52, so 111, yeah. And
I'm glad we won, though, because I would have felt awful if we would have lost.
Oh, yeah. And
broke the Division II passing record that game.
There were I think 29 state GLIAC or Division II records set in that game.
There was quite a bit, but then I think a week or two later, somebody else smashed them, and then.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was short-lived. The record we held, though.
For those of you who in the audience who don't know, back in 2003, the University of Indianapolis played a 59-52 overtime game against Michigan Tech, and Matt Cohn, who was the U of I's quarterback in that game, who went on to play in the Arena Football League.
He's a Division II head coach now at NAI school in Drain, Michigan.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's great. Yeah. And he and I are Facebook friends. And as are Cesare Manning.
Rob Mager.
Okay.
Yep. Both of those guys. Those were my big brothers when I was in college. They were a couple grades ahead of me. They introduced me to college and all the fun stuff that comes along with it. And football, how to prepare, and all that fun stuff. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, they're both Facebook friends of mine. Cesare Manning, the wide receiver, went to Bishop Chatard. I think he won some state championships there. Yeah. And Bishop Chatard's won 13 state championships.
If Ches is listening and we need you to come out for flag football, man, he's trying to retire on us. He's trying to retire. He's pushing 40, but he needs to just hold off on the retirement a couple more years.
And he played arena football, too.
Yes. I know Rob played for Chicago Rush. I think Ches was down in Georgia Force and maybe
he played for Louisville, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went and watched them both play at Louisville.
All right, yeah.
That was now it was. I think we went to watch them do those crazy end zone dances they get to do. That was fun to watch.
All right. So anyway, now we're ready to start the second half here at Avon. 8:22 your time of day. Avon is kicking off. But I still want to say a thing or two about that Michigan Tech game. But anyway, did you know that game made Sports Illustrated?
Yes.
Yeah. That was so cool.
UIndy doesn't make it to Sports Illustrated a lot, so we definitely knew about it.
So and now the kickoff goes into the end zone for a touchback. But, when the Zone, which was a local sports talk show hosted by Derek Schultz, in the last days of 2009 when they gave their great indie sports moments of the decade, and they asked people to call in and suggest their favorites. I mentioned that U of I game.
Awesome. And
just because I was one of the few people. I'm honored. I always love telling people that I was one of the few people who saw that piece of history there.
Yeah, it was a tremendous game. It was really like a really, really, really long track meet. So.
It was, yeah. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. First play of scrimmage of the half. Fishers tried to get something going on offense. They trade 20-0. Now he runs hard over to the left side.
Lewis got the edge there. Nice, tough run.
That was Dylan Scally there for the Tigers. A gain of about 3. Now, does any video exist of that game?
I'm sure some VHS tape is around there somewhere. Whether they've converted it to modern technology or not, I don't know.
I hope somebody will upload it to YouTube.
Hey, Coach Blitzy just texted me. I'll have to respond to him to see if he's got that game hidden somewhere.
Oh, good. Yeah, please do, because he's got to put it on the internet. I would love to see it again.
3-by-1 set here with Fishers. 2 high safety look from Avon.
So now handoff there, and they stop him for a gain of just about 1.
Again, not a lot of push here from that Fishers O-line. And a swarming Avon defense.
That was Scally again. This time he stopped dead in his tracks.
3rd and 7 again here. 3rd and not so manageable for this Fishers offense. Yeah. I would expect them to try to move the pocket a little bit.
So now 3rd and 7.
2-by-2 look here from the Fishers. Tigers. Jet motion.
So now Rue takes the snap, rolls over to his right, throws, and it's too low. So looks like it'll be another 3 and out for the Tigers.
Looks like Avon was anticipating the Fishers team to trying to move that pocket a little bit too, and the end was able to keep contained there. I'm not sure if it was the end or outside backer. but it makes it really hard for the quarterback to get outside of the pocket there when there's a defender keeping contained and just pushes you back more, and that's kind of what happened there.
Yeah, so Avon has played very well defensively. Granted, Fisher's not a first-class offense right now, especially with their top quarterback, John Vore, out, but still, Avon's played very well today on both sides of the ball. So Phillips back to punt again. He already had one, and now the play is whistled dead. Yeah, this is the second week in a row I've commentated a homecoming. Did it Cascade last week. And what was interesting is some of the there was like 3 or 4 Cascade players who were like candidates for I guess homecoming team. So, and I was thinking, gee, I hope they don't miss any important halftime instructions.
I don't think Avon lets them come out. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, so Phillips back deep to punt.
Nice punt.
It's fielded there at about the 39, and they're right on top of him, and he's brought down.
And not a lot of help from the Gunners there. JP caught it and was wrapped up pretty quickly.
So now Avon trying to pad onto their lead. It looks like they've got this one fairly well in the bag now with 10:27 to go in the third quarter and a 20-0 lead over the offensively anemic Fishers. So now we've got Stovall, and then let's see.
Great field position again for the Avon Orioles and a 2-by-2 look.
So Hessen in shotgun with Samson James, the running back. Hands off to James, and he's met at the line and dives forward for 1 or 2. James has not had a great game, but he does have 2 touchdowns.
Avon with a jet motion to the left, countering back to the right here. Great job by the Fishers defense. The outside linebacker looks like was there staying home and made a great play. If he doesn't make that, again, Sampson seems like there's a couple tackles where he's 1 tackle away from breaking for 6.
Yeah, and Fishers, that's one thing I do give credit to Fishers for. I mean, They have, done a fairly good job. I mean, they've got James 14 for 50, not a whole lot, per carry. And now Hessen throws deep. He's got a man open. He's got the catch inside the 25. That's
a little underthrown there by Hessen, but Moulton was able to. Looked like the Fisher might have been some sort of soft too, and he ran right by the DB. He had plenty of time to adjust to that throw.
So that's a gain of 36 yards there.
Hessen pats himself to Moulton, knowing that he missed him there for a probable touchdown there. He underthrew him quite a bit.
So thankfully did work out nevertheless.
Screen!
And now it's caught, but he's brought down immediately. That was James with his first reception of the game. He becomes the 6th Avon receiver to catch a pass in this game, but he doesn't get.
Yeah, I think everybody saw that screen there.
Actually, it goes for a loss of for 5. Yes.
Fishers was all over that. Hessen might have rushed that. I'm not sure what happened there. Just didn't. Fisher sniffed that one out from the start, though, for sure.
2nd and 15 for the Orioles at the Fishers 27. 8:50 to go here in the third quarter. Avon on top 20-0. So now hand off to James. He's got some room up the middle, and he's stopped just inside the 20. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Tough run there from Sampson. Getting him back into a little more third manageable, which is, as a coach, what you want to get, third manageables.
They give him credit for 8 on that one. Actually, one of his longer gains of the evening. So 3rd and 7 at the 19 for the Orioles. So now 1 receiver at each side. James still, in the backfield. He's been on possibly every offensive play, at least very close to it. And now he hands off to James, and he's brought down for a loss. So that'll
looks like Fisher's time's up a blitz here and just unloads on James. James, having 2 guys run free, coming right at him, just dives in the ground there.
So now,
not sure what happened there.
Yeah, that did look like sort of a. It's like there's some confusion there. But 7:40 to go. It'll be 4th down, and so they give him credit for getting back to the line of scrimmage. Nevertheless, no, okay, it's a loss of 4. I was going to say. So deciding not to go for a long field goal, which would be 40 yards. Fishers does go for it with 2 receivers to each side.
Fishers
now.
bringing the house.
And they got it inside the 5, complete, and he's brought down.
Riley Browder with the big catch.
So that's going to be a gain of about 20 yards there.
A lot of composure there by the young quarterback. A lot of blitzers coming. Takes as much time as he can to throw it and delivers a strike to Browder over the middle.
Browder now the 7th Oriole to catch a pass tonight, and the Orioles are knocking on the door now of a 4-possession lead here with 7:09 to go here in the 3rd quarter, 8:30 your time of day. So now
Nathaniel James in the backfield. We got a little wildcat look here.
So now Hessen gets it. No, the direct snap to Sampson. He plows forward. He doesn't get it. They might give him forward progress up to the 1 or 2. Let's see. Sampson James, by my count, let's see where they mark him. Oh, loss of a yard. Okay.
Looks like the wildcat formation had a short-lived first down run there.
So I have James, by the way, 17 for 53, a little over 3 a carry. So he's really had to earn what he's gotten. So now Browder and Wellington and Moulton all out to the left now. 1 receiver to the right, and it's thrown to the end zone. And we got a flag. Could be pass interference. Let's see. So let's see what the call is. It was a call. It was a throw to Farrell. He was the intended
If you're
receiver.
DB, you got to just go for it. If it's close, it's not an automatic first down. You just get half the distance. Call it a day.
So it'll be. It looks like pass interference. So it'll make it 1st and goal, half the distance to the goal. 1st and goal at the 2. So now we've got Farrell to the left, Stovall and I believe that's Browder. Stovall and Browder to the left, Farrell to the right, and James, the running back. Hessen in shotgun, 6:09 to go.
Moulton to the bottom of your screen in here.
Oh, yeah, it was Moulton. Yeah, Moulton, you're right. And now they're all over James. Well, you know, Sam, what this reminds me of a little bit is the infamous Super Bowl 20 back in the 1985 season, in which I know we got a Fishers player down. Hopefully it is not serious.
Yeah.
But they got James down for 3 yards. But I don't know how well you're familiar with that game. It was the Bears versus the Patriots, where the Bears had one of the greatest defenses of all time.
I was 1.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't recollect too much. I know a lot about the Monsters of the Midway and how they were like the lower of defenses, much like the Steel Curtain.
Right.
But yeah, I've ironically, a fun fact about that team.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't relate to that team, but Eric Moore, the offensive coordinator for Avon, did the Super Bowl shuffle his senior year, the offensive coordinator for Avon, and then led the team to a state championship.
All right.
Little fun tidbit there.
I did not know that.
If anybody can get their hands on that video, we would put a lot of money. It's probably on VHS, but if you can find it, it's worth a lot of money.
Oh, boy, yes. I'd love to see that one. So let's see. It looks like it's number 91. That's Josh Ivey. He's a junior for the Tigers. He's walking off the field groggily, but it's good to see him walking under his own power, though. So when we resume play. It's showing 3rd down. I thought it was 2nd down. Oh, well.
I feel like we've had several downs here that just haven't.
Yeah. So now we've got Browder and Wellington lined up to the left now.
Look for Farrell, 6'3", 220 here down at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Look for him to be used as a weapon in this goal line situation when you have, eight people in the box like the Fishers team does.
Yeah.
3-by-1 set with Stack to the near side.
So now Hessen gets a snap. Throws into the end zone. Did he get it?
Yes, beautiful catch, throw and catch.
Touchdown Orioles. So there's that 4-possession lead.
Hessen to Stovall there, a little sophomore connection.
Yes. So how excited you got to be. You got that duo back for 2 more years. And Stovall, by the way, the first Oriole to catch 3 passes tonight.
You probably got to see a ton of those that Hessen to Stovall hookup last year. It's
oh, yeah.
I expect a lot of things from them in the next couple years. They're going to be fun to watch.
Yes, and that's the first touchdown pass of the game for Henry Hessen, the sophomore. Oh, did they say the extra point was no good?
Oh, no.
Oh. So anyway, 26-0, nevertheless, your score. And nevertheless, overall a good game for Nick Bandy. He has hit 2 field goals.
Yeah.
From 27 and 37.
He's looking to get his swing back a little bit.
Yeah, and only a sophomore still. So, I mean, and as good as Avon is now, you know, keep in mind a lot of their best players are non-seniors. And then look at what their freshmen are doing. I haven't seen the last couple of weeks, but their first 3 games were all shutouts, and one of them was 40-0 against Ben Davis.
Yeah.
You know.
A lot of talent in this group coming up from freshmen.
Yeah.
A lot of sophomores playing tonight. A lot of Blake Fisher's the Division I guy coming back. Nathaniel James is another Division I guy coming back. So expectations are going to stay pretty high at this school.
Yeah, we very well could see the first Oriole state championship in the near future. And it's a deep kick, and it goes well into the end zone for the touchback.
Nice kick.
Wow. But yeah, Sam, I really think we're going to see the Avon win a Class 6A state championship in football one of these years. So
they've been on the doorstep here with a couple semi-state visits here.
2 of the last 3 years.
Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of time before they get to that state finals. And obviously, if you come out of the South, you're facing Carmel or Penn most likely.
Yeah.
And I think your chances are, good against those schools. So
I sure hope so. It'd be great. It'd be great for the Orioles program, and I've always loved coming out here and being their commentator, for the freshmen and JV. Great to finally do an Avon varsity game tonight.
Yeah.
So now fakes the handoff, screen pass over to the right, and they're right on top of him, and they crush him.
Yeah, Fisher's not doing a ton different. They've tried a few things. Quick passes out of their trip set, bubble looks, moving the pocket. Nothing's really working. So I think you just keep plugging away, and you got to build. It's a young quarterback. Keep working with them. Keep chugging away, and just keep figuring out your team to what works best with them. Because come playoff time, everybody's 0-0.
Yep, that's right. And they're not now that Carmel got moved out of their sectional. I mean, they.
Oh yes.
And now a pass that is dangerously blocked could have been intercepted.
Is Matt Brom? Speaking of Matt Brom almost picked that one off. Is his Uncle Mike sponsoring still?
I don't know. I don't know.
Third long again for this Fishers team, which does not bode well for them. But if they don't get themselves into some manageable yards, they're going to find themselves in some touch situations here.
Yep, indeed. Yeah, still no earned first downs all game, and now he tries to keep her, and now he might get it that way, but he's going to be a little short.
Big hole open up the middle. The QB took off, didn't have much choice there, but
Marcus Rue with this
brings up 4th and about 2 or 3.
Yep. So and he did pick up 6, and that's one of Fisher's best offensive plays of the game, believe it or not. Rue's first keeper goes for 6 yards. So now there's a kickoff. And it is down at the 41. So Avon takes over 4:09 to go here in the third quarter.
Again, I feel like Avon's been taken over on their own 40 plus almost this whole entire game.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Game of field position. If you can't get it done, this is where you're going to be. You put yourself in some bad situations.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it's a game, it's Fisher's rushing defense has played pretty well. But
yeah, hats off to their D-line.
Yeah, but offensively they've gotten nothing going to speak of. And there's James. He's got a first down again past the 50 up to about the 46.
That was on cue as we're giving credit to that D-line. Samson James rips off 12 yards. But again, there's Fisher's D lineman in that backfield. James is able to stiff arm one to the ground. They're getting back there, but they're not able to make the plays sometimes. But they've been doing a great job of getting back there.
Oh yeah, definitely. So now 1st and 10 at the 48. Screen pass, and it is completed there to Wellington, and he's up past the 40 to about the 38 or 39. It's going to be 2nd and short.
Now, Wallace Stovall with the catch. A lot of Fishers is sending a lot of pressure. Fishers is one of the better teams that sends some of the more complex blitzes that I've seen over the last 4 years. So they will throw a lot of things, a lot of looks at you, and a lot of blitzes. They're probably one of the better blitzing teams in our conference. So, no, Coach Wimmer's not going to let this Avon team just, sit back and chuck it around. 2-by-2 set here from the Orioles.
So now Stovall, there's a little movement at the line, but and finally there is a flag. The play's whistled dead.
Offsides by the Fishers team. No, we switched it to a false start. Okay. So he was signaled encroachment, and then he signaled false start. So.
Yes, indeed.
I think that was Blake Fisher there on the left tackle spot. Sophomore Blake Fisher, 6'5", 303. Another sophomore there.
Yep, that's right.
2-by-2 look here from the Orioles.
So now Hessen takes it. And it's a keeper.
Draw.
And he's got the first down and more past the 35, past the 30. So that's a pickup of about 14 by Hessen.
Nice QB draw. It's always nice having a QB draw with Samson James leading for you up the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. And they give him credit for 15 on that one. So now we've got, we've got Peterson to the left, 2 receivers to the right. James, the running back, Hessen in shotgun. Avon on their way to an easy win. Fakes the handoff to James now. Throws up the middle, and it is deflected, nearly intercepted.
A beautiful pass, but even better coverage by, looks like Michael Longo there. Great play by the Fishers. Cornerback, stride for stride with Farrell there. Really nice pass. I think Hessen could only put a little bit farther in front of him, but that was a really good pass, and even better defensive play there.
Indeed, yes. So 2nd and 10 at the 28 for the Orioles. 2:20 to go here in the third quarter. It has not been a performance that's dominant in the sense of Avon just like getting like 70 points or anything like that. It's just been the Orioles clearly being the better team and pulling away a little at a time. So now Hessen in shotgun. Hands off to James. He's got some room on the left side, and he takes it up past the 25, dodges a couple of tackles, and it brought down around the 20, so it'll be 3rd and short.
So Avon catches Fishers in a little bit of an outside blitz, and they're able to run the counter right underneath that.
So 1:52 to go now. Avon 26, Fishers 0. Another easy win for the Orioles.
Look for this Fishers team's running 4-down fronts, 5-man fronts. They've been mixing it up a ton. So part of that, that's led to this slowing down this vaunted Avon offense a little bit too.
So Wellington to the left, to Peterson to the right. Hessen in shotgun. Now Hessen under center now, and he goes for a quarterback sneak, but we've got the play whistle dead here.
Samson James goes under center here.
So 1:25 to go here in the third quarter. Avon 26, Fishers 0. The Tigers do not have an earned first down in the entire game. and they have just been totally shut down and dominated.
Yeah, I think in the past 4 years that I've coached high school football, this has by far been the biggest challenged Fisher's offensive team that I've seen. Usually they have a pretty efficient, system. They have a great defense. They can mix a lot of things up. It happens.
It does, yes. And, if you're a Fishers fan, that you will have better days than this.
Absolutely.
But,
hey, they have a state championship that a lot of schools around here don't have.
Not only do they have a state championship, but it's especially noteworthy because of the last 17 years, it is the only time a team from outside the MIC won the state championship in either Class 5A or 6A, depending on
who's the last team from the top class to win outside of Central Indiana?
It was Penn, wasn't it?
Excellent. Yep, 2000. That was Eric Moore's team there.
Okay, yeah. Penn's the only team from the north that ever wins the state. So, and though they haven't won it in a good while,
it's
but they
2000. It's only been about 20 years.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So, anyway, now pass up the middle. He's got the first down. We got a late hit. It was a short pass to Wellington for about 6.
Again, these Fishers is trying to bring some pressure, man up with these receivers, which they're not having a lot of luck with.
So let's see what the call is.
How can you call a hold on a 3-step? That's tough. Again, the holding calls are definitely getting called tonight.
Yeah, that's I guess one of the few blotches why I guess I would give Avon maybe an A- instead of an A. Had maybe a few too many penalties, but other than that, it's been an outstanding performance as we've gotten now.
I mean, if you can call holding on almost every single play, so it's really just finding what the refs are comfortable with allowing is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think you do have to make adjustments at times. You're right. So now Hessen throws deep. He's almost intercepted, so it'll bring 4th and 13 now. $12 of 22 through the air for Harry Hessen.
If you're Avon here, you know you're going for it. You're not worried about the Fishers team moving the ball. So, I think you have to keep giving it another shot and just take your chances here and keep getting better. The Fishers team has not been able to get an earned first down. You're up 26 points.
Yeah.
I think you're good to win on this one, just to go for it. And even if you don't convert here, they only get the ball to 31.
Oh, yeah,
instead of the 48-yard field goal.
So now 2 receivers to each side. Looks like Avon's going to do something adventurous here.
Looks like another 2 high safety set, cover 2 look here from the Fishers Tigers.
And now we got a whistle here with 58 seconds to go.
An inadvertent flag drop.
Oh, I think it was a delay of game. So that'll back it up to 4th and 18. Well, with Avon having perceived strong control of this game, I'm going to see if I can get some scores from other games here that would be of interest. Let's see. Well, wait. Well, here we got. Now it looks like they are going to punt. And it's blocked. And let's see. It's but it does take a big, or fairly big, Avon roll. So the Orioles lucky that they actually got some positive yards, 13 net yards out of that punt.
We're working on a Garin Catholic Chittard update here from Coach Polizzi.
All right. So, Bishop Chittard leading Garin Catholic 14 to 10 at the half.
Ben Davis in a tight one with Lawrence North, 20-18.
Yes.
More intriguing one, the Westfield's up right now, 14-13. I'm not sure how up to date these. It looks pretty close. Up 8:45.
Yeah, Westfield leading Brownsburg 14-13, and that's especially noteworthy because Westfield is our opponent next week. We'll visit Westfield a week from tonight. So no score yet for Owen Valley and Cascade. That's one I got my eye on. Should be an easy win for the Cadets on their senior day.
How's Coach Spinks doing? How's his year going? I haven't had a chance to see many games.
3-2.
Here.
I'll say more after this play. But anyway, so now
jet motion. They finally handed off to the receiver.
It's stats, yeah, but they bring him down for a loss.
Again, the Avon defense does a good job of stringing that jet motion handoff out.
So it's going to be. Okay, they said no gain. I'm sorry. nevertheless, that's stats with his first rush of the game. He does have a couple of receptions, but only for 6 yards. So 2nd and 10 now.
You know what? Still a 4-down lineman look for this Avon Orioles team, which is a little bit different than I'm sure what this Fishers team has seen the last several games.
So now
Fishers players just looking at the clock, waiting for that third quarter to end.
And it does. So 12 minutes away from victory for your Avon Orioles. They lead the Fishers Tigers by a score of 26-0 here on AudioSportsOnline.com. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. McNamara Florist has been Indy's hometown florist since 1954, providing home, business, hospital, and funeral home deliveries of outstanding fresh arrangements and plants throughout the greater Indianapolis area, including Avon. McNamara Florist is famous for its unique floral designs for all occasions that help its clients express their emotions through flowers and floral giftware. Visit any of McNamara's florists' 7 convenient locations for outstanding personal service and floral design, or to select from the renowned home decor merchandise, including stunning Christmas classics. Also, think of McNamara Florist to provide your floral needs for weddings, home parties, or corporate functions. Contact a sales representative for McNamara Florist at 317-579-7900. That's 317-579-7900. Or visit their website at McNamaraFlorist.com. That's McNamaraFlorist.com.
3-by-1 look here for Fishers. 2 safeties over the top for Avon.
A low snap, but he gets it, throws over to Stats complete, and he spins around and gets up for about 6. For about as big a play as the Tigers have had on offense all game. That'll bring up
got a player down here for Fishers on that catch. I think it's Colin Stats, I believe.
Yeah, he's the one who made the catch. But anyway, to answer your question about Coach Steve Spinks at Cascade, the Cascade had an outstanding opening night win where they got a big upset over Danville, 28-21. They won the game on a touch. They were down 21-20. They got a touchdown on an 11-yard pass with 3 seconds left. And that's my all-time favorite call of any play I've ever done. I lost about 80% of my voice screaming so loudly on that play. But
that's part of it, man.
Oh yeah, it's part of it's just the when your emotions totally take over. And then the next week they got slaughtered by Monrovia 38-0, but then they came back with a couple of wins over 2 bad opponents, Brown County and Cloverdale. And then last week they had some good moments, but they lost to Greencastle 49-26. There's a running back for Greencastle named Damon Moody, had almost 300 yards on the ground, so he beat us almost by himself.
Yeah,
so.
But
there should beat Owen Valley tonight, which would bring us to 4-2, and then the big thing is that we could lose out our last 3 to finish the regular season, though, because Indian Creek next week is a very tough 3A team.
Yeah.
And then
do they still chuck it around, even though Coach Gillum's left?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're still really good. They're still a way above average 3A team. And then 2 weeks from tonight, we're out at Edgewood.
Okay.
Which
is that Styles? What is Edgewood? Is that Ellettsville?
Yeah, Ellettsville. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my father-in-law lives in there.
Oh right, yeah,
right near there.
And they're a better team this year, so that's we could pull it out, but I'm leaning toward thinking they're going to that Edgewood's going to win that one. Then, though, to close out the season 3 weeks from tonight, we got our crossover opponent. I don't know if any other conference does that, but the Western Indiana Conference, which we're leaving at the end of the year for the Indiana Crossroads Conference, they have 2 divisions, and at the end of the year, the top team in each division plays each other for the conference championship, and then the second place teams, third place teams, so on, play each other. And
so they have a slotted seeded games at the end of the season. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know who our opponent is going to be. So that it's hard to predict that one. But the thing is, in our sectional, we could easily get a good draw and advance to the sectional championship, or we could draw Western Boone, who's the number 1 ranked team in our class, or Tipton, who's the 3rd or 4th ranked team in our class, and go out in the first round. It just depends so much on the almighty draw.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Coach Spinks will have his guys ready.
Yeah. I mean, they're last year they started largely sophomores. This year they're juniors. They look like they've improved 2 years. I mean, they've come a long way.
Coach Spinks is a BD guy. They usually know how to get football things done and get a kind of a little bit of a mantra and kind of a expectation at a school, because that's
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're at those big successful programs. It's kind of it's expected every year. I know when we were at Penn, if we didn't go to state, we were considered kind of a bit of a letdown. So expectations are high at those big schools, but it's almost second nature, and you kind of come into the most games and most camps and practices knowing what the expectations are. So there's no doubt.
Oh yeah, and it's all about building a winning culture. And Cascade is starting to do that now. I mean, they've dramatically upgraded the facilities just in the last few years.
I saw the new field turf they put in. Looks beautiful.
It is, yeah. And so they're just, they've been a consistent winner for a long time in girls basketball. They're starting to become a consistent winner in boys basketball. This year's going to be a rebuilding team for both of the basketball teams. That's basketball at small schools. Some years you're just going to have years where you just don't have any good players who come through. But that's the nature of it. But if it all starts, with the youth program, and of course you know about that, firsthand.
Yes. Well, I coach 7th grade. It seems like you get these man-child kids you occasionally plays against who are just about 3 steps faster than everybody else, and you kind of it's a little different than high school because you kind of have to adjust to like sometimes 2 or 3 kids where you have to game plan around almost, which you sometimes do in high school, but yes.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, it's at the half, Decatur Central leading Plainfield 14-7, so the Quakers hanging tough. Cascade's next 2 opponents, Indian Creek leading Edgewood in the third, 22-8. Another Hoosier Crossroads Conference game, Hamilton Southeastern.
Look at this one, Whiteland up 28-7 on undefeated Martinsville.
Yeah, so I think Martinsville's ranked first or second in Class 5A, in fact.
I think they're second, but I don't know. I haven't seen them play anybody that's been ranked yet, so
right.
I don't know. I haven't seen that. North Central is up on Carmel 17-7, which is
that's a pretty big surprise.
Mooresville continuing their successful run here, 24-14 up on the second quarter against Franklin.
What a job Mike Gillen has done after coming over.
After a tough last year, they struggled. I know they have a really tall receiver. I can't think of his name off the top of my head for Mooresville. Really talented kid. I'm interested to see how he, can do some damage here come the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but definitely,
John, I'll work on it. I gotta.
Yeah, but that was a program that really, after Coach Bless left Mooresville to come here to Avon, Mooresville really struggled for a long time. And, oh, no, we got a stretcher coming out here. That's not good.
Yeah, not sure what happened here. He was moving around, so I think.
Oh, that's good, yeah, because I always look to see if the arms or legs are moving. But
he is moving around. I think they did stabilize him, though.
Okay, yeah, well, the thing is, I I always check to see if the arms or legs are moving, and I believe, this is my 75th varsity game. And if I remember correctly, I think this is only the second time I've seen somebody taken off the field on a stretcher. So
we had a kid a couple years ago in the playoffs have a neck injury where he went to hit, the pile moved, and then his head went farther down than what you want to when he thought was the original strike point.
Yeah.
And I think he did. I'm not sure what he broke in his neck, but. Yes, you never want to see kids, leaving the game with the ambulance.
Oh no, not at all. Also, another Hendricks County score: Danville and Southmont tied at 13 in the second quarter. And Danville, I give them credit after that 0-3 start. I thought they might cave in, but they've fought back. They've won 2 in a row now. Beat Tri-West last week. Now they're trying to even the record at 3-3 tonight. Ben Slayton, having transferred from Plainfield. After that off-the-field incident, trying to rehabilitate his career, looks like he's finally starting to get that team together there. And then let's see if we got that.
I think Brownsburg might be back up on top here. Looks like Brownsburg in the third quarter is up 23-21.
Okay. Well, good.
We'll give my, what do you got, Sports Stream or some app, Score Stream, I don't know.
Let's see. Yeah, okay, it's still showing the same on mine, but darn it, I'm going to have to miss HQ again. But
who knows? Yeah. I think the score stream relies on people that are at the games to update it, so
I
it
know
could be
this
completely.
Does, yeah. WTHR does, yeah, absolutely.
Well, this score stream, this app does too, so who knows if somebody put something wrong in.
But nevertheless, I really, a couple of years ago, I commentated the Fishers Hamilton Southeastern Youth Championships, which is at Hamilton Southeastern. It's commentated with Rob Kendall, and that was such a great experience. Commentating 4 games in a day, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade games, and and really that's what it takes to build a winning program, and it's one thing. And now, Colin Stats being carted off the field, getting a nice ovation from the fans here, who are wishing that young man well. Hopefully he will be okay. I do see him distinctly moving his arms. Where he was, I could not get a good look at him from my vantage point. We have a really great crowd. I haven't really commented about the crowd here tonight, but yeah, it looks like we got about 2,500, 3,000 Avon fans and about 200, 250 Fishers fans who made the trip of about. And Sam, that trip from Fishers, as the crow flies, only about 25 miles or so, but under that 465 traffic, it's about,
you combine the Rockville Road traffic.
That too, yeah.
With the 69 traffic, and in the construction, 465 South is shut, so the more traffic that goes in 465 North. So I don't think there's a more awful Fishers to Avon transit route right now than many places.
It's so hard. It's so hard to get fans here for the road games on Friday nights because of that awful traffic they have to deal with. And I haven't. This is my 75th varsity game as a commentator, and I have it down to a science where I know what time I have to leave work because I work in downtown Indianapolis.
Okay.
I know what time I have to leave by to be able to get to a game comfortably.
Yes. See, I find those same obstacles sometimes, getting the kids situated and trying to get here.
Yes. So now back to action here.
Here we go. 3-by-1 set here from the empty set look here from Fishers.
They got to just try anything. And now screen pass, and it is incomplete. 4 for 15 on the pass on the 4 for 15 through the air for Rue on this game.
Yeah, not a horrible pass from the quarterback. Almost looks like the receiver turned the wrong way. And with some of your seniors going down out here, Fisher seems to be missing a little bit on their passes and their timing and just where they need to be.
Oh yeah. So 11:39 to go here in the game after that roughly 10-12 minute injury delay. And Jack Phillips back to punt for seems like about the 10th time out. Nearly loses that one, but he does get it away.
Another good kick from the punter here from Fishers.
And he drops it. Peterson drops it, but he runs over to the and tries to find something. Doesn't, however, brought down right around the 20, maybe 21. 11:25 to go now. And I think we do have a flag somewhere. So Avon
hold on Fishers there.
Avon leading 26-0 over Fishers with 11:25 to go. It's been, even though we have a big crowd here for Avon, I'll tell you, the crowd has just been really subdued. I think, it's just been, I think it's because it's just, there haven't been a lot of dramatics in this game. It's just Avon clearly the better team pulling away a little at a time.
Well,
nothing too dramatic.
Another mystery call here with the refs. We called holding on Fishers, and then they moved the ball. I think they missed that call. They meant to call on Avon there.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Avon now looks like they still got the first unit here for at least one more possession. We'll see.
Another 5-man front here from Fishers.
Throws up the middle, and he got it. He got it. Wow.
One-handed catch by Ty Farrell there. Throw was a little off by Hessen there, but amazing catch by Farrell there with his backhand, left hand there.
Hopefully somebody got some, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, we did get video of it. Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping your camera was working.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. And, of course, then we got it looks like somebody broadcasting the game on TV down from us, but down the road from us. So now Hand off there to James again. And this time they're ready for him
again,
as usual.
that Fisher's defensive line, I know this game's 26-0, but again, hats off to this front seven for this Fisher's team for keeping Samson James in check a little bit. But, you can only slow him down for so long.
Well, what I was starting to say earlier, Colin, is you go back to that 85 Bears team, which had, possibly the greatest defense of all time, maybe challenged by the 2000 Ravens. But anyway, they played the New England Patriots, and this is when it was sort of,
Pre-Belichick.
Yeah, when it was considered a major surprise that the Patriots were there. And now
another nice pitch and catch to Wallace Stovall at the top, I believe.
I couldn't tell, from my vantage point if he made the catch or not. They said he did.
Those two, I think, seem to be developing a little bit of a rapport. It's kind of developed. It keeps developing, and it seems like they're building a little bit of chemistry here, which is always key down the final stretch of the season.
Yeah, so 3rd and 2 now.
It's nice to have two, 14, 15-year-old kids leading your way as sophomores for varsity football.
Yeah, especially for the number 3 team in the state.
Yes.
So now, hand off there to James. He's got the 1st and more down there over on the right side, past the 50. We do have a flag. But yeah, Avon should be, consistently in the top 5 easily over the next 3 or 4 years.
I would hope so. I think they have the expectations are still pretty high here.
Yeah.
No matter who's playing, the expectations are what they are.
So it will be coming back.
This Avon offense, their biggest enemy, it seems to me, in these several games that I've seen, is themselves. The only people that seem to be able to stop them is themselves.
Yeah, I mean, because they did in the first half, they did struggle a little bit to finish drives. That is true. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hessen in shotgun, takes a snap, drops back, got plenty of time. Now he rolls over to his left, and he swarmed it. He's brought down for a big sack. That's a loss of about 10 yards there for Hessen. But anyway, in this Super Bowl where the Patriots played the Bears, they contained Walter Payton. He went 22 for 61 when he was near the end of his prime. And I remember somebody from the Bears in the NFL Films episode on that Super Bowl, he said, he wonders if the Patriots had a plan for anything other than containing Payton.
Sometimes you just that's kind of right out of Belichick's, take out their best player.
Yeah.
Barely got the kickoff, low punt. The ball is bouncing.
But yeah, I mean, so now it's down at about the 43. But
Fishers gets a little decent field position now after it seems like Avon's been on their side of the field most of this game.
Oh, yeah. But, in that game, I mean, Chicago won like 46 to 10, 44.
Yeah, I remember it wasn't very close.
Yeah, but yeah, they did contain Payton, and it's pretty similar today. I mean, Samson James. Okay, I have him now 21 for 67, so he's just gotten a little over 3 a carry. I mean,
and one was a 29-yarder. So
yeah, exactly.
No, again, hats off. This front seven Fishers. They had a lot of movement. They give you a lot of looks. They send a lot of blitzes at you. So you have to be ready. So hats off to them and what they've done tonight.
I agree.
Being limited on what they kind of have.
They've done very well, and especially continuing playing hard. Rather than falling in, even when the game has been out of reach for quite a good while. So now, handoff there. Who is that? He gets over to the right side. I think
so. Lewis Peterson pushes him out there after about a 5 or 6 yard gain.
Well, I just got this is you'll probably get a kick out of this, Sam. I just got a text from a friend asking me what it means to decline a penalty. A friend who's listening to this game, and it's one of those things. I didn't realize till I started commentating that footballese is like a language in itself.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you get into the verbiage as the actual schemes, and then it's, you're off the races with all the different types of verbiage that people use.
Oh, yeah. And Their handoff there to Lewis. Now he goes over to.
Again, this defensive line for Avon is getting penetration. They're trying to zone run it almost, it seems, and the lateral movement is not helping them out. They're losing yardage on their run plays.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. If obviously Rick Rimmer's a realistic guy. I mean, he knew at halftime they probably weren't going to come back to win this game. But I'm sure he was hoping that at least they'd get something going on offense, and they haven't.
You can't just give up abandon the run.
No,
because this D-line will just pin their ears back and tee off on your quarterback, and you want to have the kid standing for next week. So
yeah,
you have to still be realistic on what you're doing.
But yeah, it's
jet motion here.
So now
moving the pocket again.
Now he rolls and throws, and it's incomplete. But, yeah, I think it's got to be disappointing for Coach Wimmer that they still haven't found anything that works at all here in the second half offensively. And now with 7:27 to go and apparently about to punt again,
yes.
Who knows if they'll even get the ball again.
Yeah.
But it's like let me give you an example. After this play about footballese being a language.
Another great punt by this Fisher punter here. He's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, Peterson takes it at the 20 up to the 25, 30. We got a flag. He's brought down about the 31. But let me give you an example. I speak some Swedish, which is one of my ancestral languages. But when I'm talking to people in Swedish, when the subject turns to sports, I always switch to English because I don't know how to talk about sports in Swedish. I just don't know the terminology at all, So, there's certain things that, and I've been watching football for, this is my 41st season of watching football. So, these words and phrases have just been with me for so long,
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's a language in itself.
Yeah.
I think you, and it's ever changing. There's new things. There's so much. There's constantly. It's like it's constantly being added and updated too. So
exactly. Yeah. So now, Fishers rushes into formation.
The 4-man front here from Fishers.
So now, who is that on the run? He's got
looks
the
like
first.
Jarrett Stevens.
Jarrett Stevens, yeah.
You got it. You wanted him. You got him.
I saw him score many touchdowns on the freshman team 2 years ago and the freshman team last year. Now getting some varsity action tonight as a junior.
We've commented on the holding calls tonight.
Yeah.
So
that one's coming back too.
Apparently, we're gonna continually to.
But also the last 2 years. Mason Miller.
I just wish I would have had these refs during the Center Grove game. Cause
yeah. Are you talking about the one in the playoffs 2 years ago?
I'm talking about any game against Center Grove where they just hold you until the refs decide they want to call it every time, and then they adjust.
Because I heard there were some questionable calls.
There's the 15 game, which is that's going to be in lore of Avon forever. But
that's what I was referring to. Yeah. So 2 receivers to each side now. Mason Miller, the backup quarterback in the game now. He is a junior. And hands off to Steven again, and he breaks through. He's got the first down. Well, no, because they backed it up, so no, he doesn't have the first down, but he does have a good gain. But Jarrett Steven.
Tough running back. Runs downhill, as you can see by the couple runs he's had in here. And Mason Miller.
Got 9 on that one.
It's always nice having both quarterbacks come back.
Yeah.
Mason's is a junior right now. Henry's a sophomore.
Right.
Mason's an amazing athlete, but again, it was a tough competition, and it's always nice having a good backup in there.
It is, yeah. And, of course, Mason's still a big part of the team as the punter as well.
Absolutely.
And now that's Steven, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Oh, my God.
Will they catch him?
No, they won't. Oh, my God. 83 yards, Jarrett Steven. Well, I think he just made a case for getting a lot more varsity carries this year.
I don't think.
Oh, my God. And I emphasize again, that's not Stevens, that's Steven. No S at the end.
I think the ref gave up running there, and he was close enough, so he just gave it to him.
Yep.
Big run there by Jarrett.
Yep. Boy, I've seen him score. after all the freshman and JV touchdowns I saw him get, it's great to see him get one in the varsity now, coming from 83 yards, too.
He was definitely one of the bell cows we would give it to in the JV games last year for sure.
Yeah, and get this, by the way, Jarrett Stephen now, after only 2 carries, he's the leading rusher of the game, 92 yards. So, yeah, Jarrett Stephen, what a future that young man has, and probably will be our leading rusher next year after Samson James graduates.
You would think, Jalen Love and Jarrett Stephen will probably be taking the reins next year. Jalen a little smaller back, but a little more shifty, so a little thunder and lightning we might have next year.
Oh, yeah. And Jarrett, by the way, coming into this game, Jarrett on the in varsity action this year was 8 for 31. But so he certainly padded his steps tonight.
He's going to have a nice average after that one.
Yep. His average in this game is 46, 9 and then 83. There we hear, there's Guns N' Roses with Sweet Child of Mine. Hard to believe that song is 31 years old now. I remember when I was in high school, having a Guns N' Roses album was a good way to horrify your parents.
Oh, wow.
They were very, very controversial in the early years.
He's from Northern Indiana.
Yeah, Axl Rose, the lead singer, and Izzy Stradlin, one of the guitarists, both went to Lafayette Jeff, yeah. So it's a long kickoff. All right, it bounces, and it's another touchback. So Fisher's 5:53 to work with to finally get something going on offense. They do not have an earned first down in this game.
Looks like the Avon defense is keeping most of their starters in to try to keep this shutout here with 5:53 left.
And not only the shutout on points, but shutout on first downs.
Shutout on first downs as well.
Yeah. It's just been total domination. I think
they've had some opportunities. Fishers they haven't quite executed.
Yeah.
They're gonna definitely bounce back for sure next week.
Oh yeah. And now we got a flag there, and he's out. So let's see what happens.
Well, another hold there.
So let's see where they mark it. But Fisher's High School started in 2006. It wasn't exactly started from scratch. Hamilton, the city of Fishers grew so big, and the only public school in town was Hamilton Southeastern. And the enrollment finally got so big they just split the district in half.
Yeah.
And it was really bittersweet for Hamilton Southeastern fans when in the 5th year after the split, Fishers won the state championship in football after all the close calls that Hamilton Southeastern has had.
I think you give hats off to Coach Wimmer because
absolutely.
And as quickly, I was really surprised as quickly as he did accomplish that.
And another,
didn't they beat was it Lawrence Central they beat in state?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
And here's an interesting piece of trivia about Fishers. I haven't checked the state records on this, but it is possible that they are the only school in state history whose first win in program history was a playoff game, because they were 0-9 in the regular season in their debut season in 2006, and then they won their playoff opener against Kokomo.
Well, I'll take your word for it, and we'll just roll with it.
Yeah, it very well could be the first. Casey Kasem was a very big influence on my broadcasting career, so I love trivia like that.
Well, first in a million coming up here for Fishers after the holding and the personal foul.
And most of the time when I commentate high school games, all the fans stay till the bitter end. This time we have a lot of fans leaving early, understandably.
Oh man, we've a lot of penalties tonight, a lot of holding calls.
So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left now, 1 running back for Fishers. Screen pass, and it is over his head.
Again, the pressure from this defensive line is causing this quarterback he's not stepping into his throws. He's fading away as he's throwing. I know that was a quick screen to the bubble guy or flat guy.
Yeah.
But hats off to this Avon defensive line for just continuously getting back there and causing havoc on the Fishers quarterback.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So now Fisher's 2nd and 25 at their own 4, trying to get not just trying to get points, trying to get a first down. And now they're in danger of the safety, and he dodges, and he's got some room. He throws it, and it's too low, though. Had he run, he actually might have gotten several yards.
I think that would have been his best bet for sure.
Yeah. So third.
Hey, great job avoiding the D lineman trying to take his head off there in the end zone.
He
having composure to step up and evade the oncoming rush there.
Yeah, it would have been a safety, yeah. But, yeah, certainly a very rough game there for.
Yeah, especially being backed up in your end zone. It's never a spot you want to typically throw out of.
Yeah, Marcus Rue having a very rough night. Completed only 4 of 18 passes for 12 yards.
We got Steven Stringfield looks like's in, I believe. Is that? They got a new quarterback in.
Okay, I did not know that.
Double.
Okay.
7, nope, I'm wrong.
7.
Lucas Pruitt's in right now.
Okay. And this time they gained about 2 yards. Who was that? Can you tell who could you tell who that was who carried? I think 25. Anyway, he picked up, whoever it was, picked up, looks like a gain of 2 yards there. Okay, I think that was Jonah Dunnick. So now it's fair caught there by Wallace Stovall at the 50. So Avon takes over with 4:31 to go. On their way to a easy victory over Fishers, 33-0 your score. It's 9:21 your time of day. So let's see if maybe they'll give it to Jarrett Stephen again. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. I believe Stephen is in there at running back.
Jalen Love in the backfield.
Oh, Jalen Love, okay.
Mason Miller at quarterback.
So Jalen Love stopped for.
We got any score updates?
I'll get some here in just a second.
Yeah.
As soon as I.
Because this game is just slowly ending here.
Indeed, yes. So now, second, they give Love credit for 1 yard there. 3:52 to go, 2nd and 9, and we got a whistle here. But yeah, definitely I'll try to, let me refresh my Operation Football page.
These guys are not messing around with their penalties tonight.
Still, it looks like
little center hand movement. You can't pick up that football. You can't move it once it's been placed. So,
wow, they're really slow to update scores.
They're hammering down on the penalties that nobody else calls.
Yep. Warren Central leading Pike 45-7. Warren Central, still
rolling.
Yeah, still maintaining its number 1 position there. Carmel over North Central 14-7 now. But anyway. Now handoff to Love again, and he's again stopped for a very short gain, maybe 1 or 2. And this person said, Casey Kasem, you're showing your age. And I don't think that much, because he only retired in 09, so
Casey Kasem.
Yeah. It was he hosted American Top 40 for many years.
I remember the radio, back in the day when I used to listen to the radio, which didn't last very long.
I listened to him a lot when I was a kid. I'm 47, so,
I'm 34.
Yeah. 3rd and 12 now for the Orioles, 2:45 to go in the game. And they give it to Love again, and, they're ready for him again. I think they just got about to the line of scrimmage.
I have North Central up 24-17 on Carmel, and they haven't beat them in – I want to say a decade or more. So
yeah, well, when Cascade beat when Cascade beat Danville, it broke a 25-game losing streak.
I kind of thought that they hadn't beat them in a while. It was kind of a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, and in boys basketball, Cascade, I think Danville's on a 21-game winning streak over Cascade right now.
I got Chichards up on Guerin Catholic 21-13 in the fourth.
All right.
Looks like Noblesville and Franklin Central are at a little bit of a 0-0 stalemate of sort.
Yeah. So Avon takes a timeout now with 1:59 to go.
Looks like a 33-10 win for Senna Grove over Lawrence Central, which is a big win. Brownsburg's only got a 2-point lead on Westfield, is what I'm showing right now in the third. So only chance that Avon could have at winning a HCC title is if Brownsburg slips up here in the next couple weeks.
So now we got a punt here. And it's a high short punt. It bounces at about the 37, takes a big Avon bounce inside the 30 up to about the 26.
That looked like it touched the Fishers player.
So it looks like Fishers will get one more chance on offense. Ben Davis leading Lawrence Central 20-18. Yeah, Westfield now is showing Westfield over Brownsburg 14-13, but still in the second. I'm sure the game must be later than that. Ron Brebeuf Jesuit leading Ron Colley 28-0.
Wow, that's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Decatur Central leading Plainfield 14-7 at the half. So hasn't been a lot of updates since last time. Hamilton Southeastern over Zionsville 27 at the half. Hamilton Southeastern, another Deer Audio Sports Online school. So now Fishers with at least one school.
I watched the HS team play here, and they.
Yeah.
Again, they
makes the handoff now throws a long pass, and it is incomplete. And the intended receiver there for Fishers was Christian Jones.
Yeah.
So Stringfield 0 for 3 as the backup now to Marcus Rue, who went 4 for 16. So Fishers quarterback's going 4 for 19.
Looks like Fishers doesn't want to end on a shutout here, so we're going to keep throwing it with the last minute 40 left in this game here.
Yeah, Fishers quarterback's going 4 for 19 so far through the air. And now a handoff, and they're right on top of him. He might get.
There we go. Trusted run to put a fork in this thing a little bit here, get a little bit closer. Minute 27 left on the clock.
Yep, I believe that was.
Better question is who's going to stop New
Pal? Maybe nobody in that class. Were they 5A now?
Yeah, they're in 5A. Talking about we were talking about, having that expectation, and that school came on the scene. Coach Ralph has, done amazing things there, and before he came, you didn't hear a lot from New Pal.
Oh, yeah. They've only emerged as a major power in recent years. But now, he had it, but he dropped it. So the passing woes continue for Fishers tonight.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Well, so 4th and 6 now. So 0 for 4 for the backup quarterback.
Let's look for Avon to catch this, fair catch it, and kneel this game and put a fork in this one here.
Oh, 51 seconds to go, and the play is whistled dead. Yeah, really what I've noticed, Operation Football is inconsistent. Very often by now I'd have a whole bunch of, scores. Maybe it's just a problem with the app rather than people lack of reporting.
I found the Score Stream app, and that's how I.
Okay.
It's been the most up-to-date app I've found, other than I'm looking on websites online.
Score Stream, okay.
Score Stream app, try it out.
I will, yeah, definitely.
Score Stream can send all my royalties to Rob Kendall there.
And now it's fielded, it's fair caught by Stovall there down to at about the 40. So it looks like Avon will just do 1 or 2 kneel downs to close out the game.
A couple kneel downs. It took a minute for the offense to kind of find its rhythm, even though it was a little bit sloppy at the start. Then they kind of found their rhythm, and again, this Avon offense at times is going to want to pound it on you. And this Fisher defense, they do a lot of good things in that front seven. So, 33 points on a Fisher's team is pretty tough.
Indeed it is, yes. So now it looks like we'll just have one kneel down or two by Mason Miller, the backup quarterback. And let's see depending on when they reset the play clock, they might not have to. No, they don't have to, so the teams are forming a handshake line. So great win for your third-ranked Orioles. They should at least hold steady in the number 3 ranking, if not move up to number 2 if Brownsburg loses. Your final score here tonight at Avon, your Avon Orioles 33, the Fishers Tigers 0. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. Reynolds Body Shop is a proud sponsor of Avon football broadcasts. They're conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Their phone number is 317-243-2372. That's 317-243-2372. And they're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com. Avon has a rich wrestling tradition. Red Cobra Wrestling is proud to be part of that. Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions run by nationally known coach Chad Red. Red Cobra Wrestling is located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon. That's 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the red brick building. Red Cobra Wrestling offers sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about prices, class schedules, and information at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. Well, back here at Avon for a final time tonight, where your Avon Orioles have just, had another very strong victory over a highly touted opponent, the Fishers Tigers, by a score of 33-0. It's a game in which Avon clearly was the better team from the start. However, they failed. They struggled in the early going to finish drives, but they did pull away little by little and never let Fishers into the game at all.
Yeah.
Quick scoring recap with 3:40 to go in the first quarter. Samson James scored on a 2-yard touchdown rush. Nick Bandy was good on the extra point, making it 7-0. Then early in the second quarter, Jones rushed it in from 29 yards. Bandy's extra point made it 14-0. With 4:59 to go in the quarter, Bandy hit a 27-yard field goal, making it 17-0, and then with 57 seconds left in the quarter, a 37-yard field goal, season long, making it 20-0. Then in the third quarter, Henry Hessen passed for his only touchdown of the game, 5 yards to Wallace Stovall Jr., making the score 26-0 after a missed extra point. And then after the reserves had been put in, Jarrett Stephen rushed 83 yards for a touchdown, and Nick Bandy's extra point brought us to our final score of 83-0, and it should be noted, by the way, that Fishers did not get a single earned first down in the game. Yes. Look at the individual statistics. First of all, for your Avon Orioles, Henry Hessen completed 15 of 25 passes for 205 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. Wallace Stovall had 5 receptions for 46 yards and a touchdown. What's Farrell's first name?
Tice Farrell.
Okay, Tice Farrell had Tice Farrell had 3 receptions for 26 yards. Cameron Moulton had 2 for 39. Jalen Peterson had 1 for 21. Riley Browder had 1 for 20. Samson James had 1 for -5, and then Aaron Reynolds had 1 for 8. On the ground, Samson James was relatively contained, going 21 rushes for 67 yards, but he did have 2 touchdowns. Henry Hessen had 4 for 13. Cameron Moulton, 1 for 11. Jalen Peterson, 2 for -5. Jarrett Stephen, 2 for 92, including the 83-yard touchdown. Jalen Love, 1 for -2, and Jalen Love 3 for 2, and Mason Miller 1 for -1. Then for Fishers, not a whole lot to report. Starting quarterback Marcus Rue completed 4 of 16 passes for 12 yards, and no touchdowns and no interceptions. Steven Stringfield completed 0 of 4 passes. On receiving, Colin Stats had 3 receptions for 12 yards, and Nick Cohoon had 1 for 0. On the ground, Dylan Scally led the way, 6 for 12, followed by H.L. Lewis, who had 7 for 4, and then the punter, Jack Phillips, had 1 for -31 on a botched play. Matt Rue, Marcus Rue, the quarterback, had 1 for 6. Colin Stats had 1 for 0, and Jonah Dunnock had 2 for 6. So, Sam, this is a game, if you're Avon, it was a disappointment that they didn't finish off a few of those early first quarter drives. Maybe they didn't advance. Maybe they didn't make an adjustment enough to the officiating, the way they were calling the holding.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's hard to think of anything to complain about. This is a very solid A- performance by the Orioles tonight.
I think if you're Avon, you had a nice 33-0 win.
Yeah.
You can't take nothing away from that.
No.
I think you keep your blinders on, and you keep your goals are still some of your goals are still there. You got your shutout. You dominated essentially the game, but again, some of the self-inflicting wounds you keep pointing to, because when you have a little bit of competition, those things are highlighted. So you focus on those mistakes, and you continue to try to correct towards perfection, essentially.
Yeah, you do, and it says a lot about a program when you're just sort of ho-hum about a 33-0 win. Especially against a team that's often been in the top 10 here in the last decade. Won a state championship 8 years ago, was won 2 sectionals since then, including last year, and you don't think it's any big deal. That shows the
expectations.
Team
they lost to last year, who I also think they had they felt they let one go.
Yeah.
And I think there's no better game that they'd be more focused than this one.
Yeah, they corrected what went wrong in that loss. That was their only loss, not counting other than the 2 to Ben Davis. That was their only loss last season.
Yeah.
And then they went undefeated until they ran into what was then a brick wall of a Ben Davis team.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly, the bar is now raised high at Avon. They've been to the semi-state 2 of the last 3 years. Also, 2 of the last 3 years, they've put a quarterback highly into college football with Brandon Peters at Michigan, Cameron Meisner at the University of Indianapolis.
Yep.
And now, we've got several guys who are going to play college ball of this senior class, including, at least 2, possibly more at Division I level.
Yeah.
So,
things are looking up for Avon football for sure.
Indeed, and so like you said, there's no such thing as a perfect performance. You can always nitpick and find things to look at, but one thing that really impressed me, even when they failed to finish off those drives, every time they made a mistake, they just came back strong next time to try to right the wrong, and then they started finishing drives more often as the game went on, and you do have to give the Fishers rushing defense for a lot of credit that they played hard to the end.
Absolutely. They represented themselves, so I know the game 33-0 doesn't sometimes show it, but they did a good job of getting back there and creating problems, and you just got to do your job and let the chips kind of fall.
Yeah, and Samson James he averaged 6.9 yards a carry coming into tonight. I mean, they held him to less than half his average per carry.
Yeah.
So, and I give them credit that they kept playing hard even when the game was well out of reach. So
they. Like I said, they were getting penetration all night, so hats off to them, and good luck to everybody next week in their games for sure.
Yeah, and again, when you have a coach like Rick Wimmer or Mark Bless, guys who've been around it for so many decades, there's a reason they've lasted this long and are coaching teams at such a high level, because they're darn good coaches and they're good motivators. So
I think both sides, it's 2 different messages you might be trying to give after a 33-0 loss or a 33-0 win. Is like I said earlier, playoffs come, everybody's 0-0, so you
you kind of almost get your team ready for that playoff run and to get everything, lined up and hitting right then. So,
and certainly Avon is, especially because they're going to have to go probably through Brownsburg to win that sectional, and obviously they're going to want to beat their cross-conference rival and get a little revenge for that loss in the rain a couple of weeks ago.
It's definitely going to be revisited at some point. And then whoever from the Perry school system that the winner plays is however that shakes out. But
one thing that's really exciting is all these years that the Hoosier Crossroads Conference has played second fiddle to the MIC, and yet now the number 2 and number 3 teams in the state, both from the HCC, Avon and Brownsburg.
I don't think the MIC will really, unless we kind of one of these West Side schools and the HCC really starts to dominate. I don't think we'll get the respect until you can break through in the playoffs, because that's what they're going to keep pointing to. And until somebody from the South is able to get out, or even if it's the North. Until they're able to get back to that top spot, I don't think, unless you start winning state championships when the playoffs come, you can't get that respect. It's kind of earned.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have to bust through with those state championships and more sectional, regional, and semi-state crowns to really be considered on that type of echelon. But they're making their way. It's a process.
Yeah, the regular season accolades are nice, but now that we've been to the semi-state 2 of the last 3 years, now that we've gotten accustomed to that, obviously we want to take that next step and go all the way. And with the talent we have, and especially with a lot of the stars of these guys being non-seniors, some of them being even sophomores, this team could be better a year and 2 years from now. And
I mean, it would be tough, but you never know with the way I see kids when they're sophomores, and I see them as seniors, and they look like 2 different people. So it's hard to tell where some of these kids, where their bodies may take them.
You got to stay healthy, but
yes.
But if these guys, especially if these sophomores keep on improving from year to year, then by the time they're seniors, they are going to have a shot to be easily a top 5 team and make a very deep playoff run.
Yeah, so I look forward to it. I'm excited for the season, and I'm excited next week for Westfield. That should be a good game for the Avon Orioles.
That's right. Westfield, they were a team that really in this decade has emerged as a strong power. They were very dominant in Class 5A.
Yeah.
They got to the state championship game in that division in 2013, and then won the state championship in that class in 2016. That their postseason success in 2015 and 2016 forced them to move up from Class 5A to 6A, where they are now. This year, one thing you can say about them is that all of their games have been close. They entered their game tonight against Brownsburg 3-2, and they were beating Brownsburg in the second quarter by 1 point. Last I checked, it'll be interesting to see how that holds up. Nevertheless, all of their games have been within 14 points either way.
Westfield's another great team in our conference that has their guys prepared defensively.
Yeah,
I think their secondary and the looks their secondary gave on their state championship was one of the more impressive kind of schemes and movement and the things they were doing. So I know Westfield's going to be well coached, and they'll be ready to play, especially at home.
Oh, yes, that magnificent new stadium that just opened 2 or 3 years ago. It's like a Division I AA college stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
It's one of the better stadiums we play in for sure. Franklin Central last week was amazing. I mean, all the stadiums, we have a great stadium here, but these other stadiums we play at are just, they're remarkable. So.
Oh, they are, yeah. But to give you an idea of our opponent, Westfield's coming into tonight, we're 3-2. All of their games were within 14 points either way. They beat Harrison up near West Lafayette. They beat Zionsville. They beat Hamilton Southeastern. Then they lost to Decatur Central, who's number 3 right now in Class 5A, and they lost to Noblesville in something of an upset. But this year Westfield doesn't have a statistically dominated player. Their starting quarterback Camden Simmons has modest statistics coming into tonight: 68 for 113 for 808 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. But they do have a steady array of rushers, who are between 150 and 350 on the year coming into tonight. And all with who have combined for 10 touchdowns. Those their top 4 rushers have. So, certainly they're going to have a lot more offensive weapons than Fisher's had for us tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game. Great. Hopefully it's another cool Friday night, and I'm excited for it.
Well, Sam, it's great finally commentating with you for the first time. Hopefully we'll do it again. Since you have a much stronger background in football. My background in football is being a fan for 40 years. You've actually played and coached it, so you were able to get a little more analytical than I do and call the plays really well, and it was great having you. And So, any last words before we sign off?
No, just look. It was great working with you, and looking forward to next week, and just excited for more football season.
All right. Well, once again, your final score here tonight at Avon. Your Avon Orioles, ranked number 3 in the state, should at least hold it steady at that position. They beat the Fishers Tigers 33-0. This concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining us, and I cordially invite you to do so again a week from tonight at 6:45 for the pregame show, as your Avon Orioles challenge the Westfield Shamrocks up there on the road in Hamilton County, and then I will be with you the next morning for the JV matchup between those schools. Until then, for audiosportsonline.com, this is Lex Zorn reminding you there is a difference only you can make.